It is time to get into the #1 overall wide receiver prospects in college football 26. We already did QBs, running backs, had some really fun players throughout those two videos, and let's see if we can have similar results. Starting off, Damar Johnson, physical route runner being the first archetype, and I want to ask these at the start of the video. What's your favorite archetypal wide receiver in college football 26? There's a lot of good ones. I love how they did it this year compared to not only last year, but the previous years of Madden, where it feels like they've always kind of skipped out on the details that really separate some of the wide receivers and the skill sets that they can have. And, it goes for that with a lot of different players and positions. So let me know what your favorite is, as we get a route artist as our second guy. He goes to Tennessee, and we have Damar Johnson already. How about literally first year of development, a +11 for Damar Johnson, and he's going to get to see some playing time. So already off to a great start with our first wide receiver. Ian Cash, the #2 guy, star development. Usually it takes a couple of years for these guys to get on the field because you have to wait for them to commit, then develop. Takes them maybe 2 years to do that. But Damar Johnson, don't have to wait that long. Next receiver, Duke Hatchett, is a bust. And we actually do have action, not in the playoffs though for Clemson, but Damar Johnson being a starter for this team. They're going to be taking on Tennessee. Now, it would be cool if Cash were actually on the field and both guys were playing, but Cash is on the bench. Damar Johnson's getting a swing outside on a screen, going to only get a yard, 3rd down and 9, as they're going to throw one deep, and in a 17-17 game, it's tipped and intercepted. They tried it in double coverage for Damar Johnson, but not to be, as Tennessee takes over. And Tennessee with a 1st down carry. I'm going to do this video more similar to how I did the running back one, where I don't show quite as much defense, and I try to, focus in on the key plays and really try to see what these receivers are going to do when they get involved in the game, because I think that's what we are all here to see. Maybe not so much as watching the other players, but if there's anything crazy that happens, obviously we will be seeing it. We got a whole bunch of games to get into. They throw a screen outside. That's Damar Johnson again, so they are targeting him a lot. 5 catches, and it feels like his targets have gone way up since we have hopped in. How about another catch for Damar to the 50-yard line? And I like to see these receivers get involved. That's always the worry when you get into these other positions. Will they even see the football? But he is, and the sack is going to come in, and that might knock him out of field goal range from the 39-yard line. He's running, got to get rid of the football. He does, and now it will be 56 yards. It's a long try, but for the lead, kick is no good. And the sack probably is what did them in. So now Tennessee with great field position. And in a tie game, they get a curl route outside for the 1st down. And now they're in enemy territory. 2nd down and 4, under 3 to play. Wide open man, up the sidelines, inside the 5, down to the 3. And Tennessee for the lead. Touchdown. And on the ground, they deliver. And now you turn things over to Clemson. Damar Johnson, who's got a catch. And he's on the run for a 1st down. And Damar Johnson, I love seeing that. Get him the football, as over the middle they go somewhere else with the ball, and it's going to work out. Now getting past midfield, quick pass, and he's reaching. He's got the 1st down to the 39-yard line. Just over a minute to play. Down the seam, it's caught, inside the 10, and down to the 2. Timeout used, handoff, and we could be headed to overtime in game 1. We will. Tennessee takes the last minute, runs out the clock, and already overtime. It's interesting considering we had a previous video where we got 1 overtime game the entire video. And then, here, first game of the video, overtime, 24-24, and over the middle, touchdown, Clemson. Tennessee now needs to respond with a touchdown of their own. First play of the possession, he sets up and throws it over the middle, got a man, and inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. And now 1 play away maybe from sending this to double overtime, but that could be the game changer for Clemson. A sack and a loss of 4. 2nd and goal. They respond. Broken tackle and a touchdown. So Tennessee, now it's their turn to go first. And the pressure coming in, but they deliver. Ashton Daniels is delivering great passes in this overtime, and a touchdown for Tennessee. They are not going down. The 2-point conversion, quick slant, and they got it, 39-31. Now Clemson, you need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion as they get the tight end going. Underneath route gets the first down. Now back him up a couple of yards. Second down and 15. Step it up, and he's going to fire to the tight end. Touchdown! And the 2-point conversion is going to be mad, and he's brought down one-on-one in the open field. He had his chance, and the running back couldn't get in. Tennessee wins it, and I think a pretty fun game to kick off this video. Damar Johnson also 7 grabs. Feel like we see most of them in that fourth quarter, and it punctuates a really nice season, about 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns. We're going to be tracking 1,000-yard seasons, cumulative statistics, 100-yard games, and we ran into our first little problem of the video. Duke Hatchet does not commit. Now, you know, I really have seen like the comments and everything and all the stuff that people have said whenever players like disappear or don't commit. And genuinely, I do look, here is me speeding up the entire process of me not only looking nationally, but looking through every single team. And then people have said, well, what if they change positions? He wasn't even an athlete anyway. Trust me, I looked, and this isn't even all of me looking. I looked multiple times, but I'm not going to show you all like 30 minutes of me looking at different various points. So we're going to scrap Hatchet. It's a little bit different considering he was a prospect that never even made it to college football. So we're going to scrap him and just move on to the next one. This guy is our number 3. And Matthew Golden, okay, welcome back, Matthew Golden. He grew up a couple of inches, and now he's a 5-star wide receiver looking to play college football all over again, I suppose. I mean, I guess if I had Quinn Ewers as my quarterback, I'd feel like my college career got a little robbed. So let's see where Matthew Golden gets to have a second try in college football. He was already a first-round pick. Maybe he could be a top 10 pick this time around as we go to the playoffs where Clemson does make it. Ian Cash does see a little bit of playing time, 9 catches on the season, but Clemson and Damar Johnson is in the playoffs, and Damar coming off a really spectacular year last season. Let's see if he could follow things up with a big year this year and more success from a team perspective. 24-19 is your score. Michigan is going to throw outside. That's Bryce Underwood for a first down completion. Underwood not had a great game so far, but he's got Michigan in a spot where they can win this game as that pass outside on third down is going to be caught, but short of the line. Now Clemson takes over. Pass outside. Going to be caught. Running back with a nice spin move. And he gets the first down. As now 4 minutes to play. Read option. Keeper. He's got a lane. He's going to sprint past midfield. Gets by the safety. He's going to go 63 yards on the read option. Touchdown. Clemson takes a 2-score lead. And we don't often see quarterbacks get 60-plus yard rushing touchdowns, so that's cool to see. As now Michigan, I mean, they're still going to run the ball a little bit, but you're down by 2 scores with 3 minutes to go. Can't really afford to run it much, but Bryce Underwood's getting chased down and brought down. Third down and 12 as they'll check it down underneath, get a decent amount of those yards, but you know, still 4th and 6, 4th and manageable, though, as Underwood's going to take off. He's got the first, and he's going to get it to the 43-yard line. 2-minute warning approaching. Michigan still with all their timeouts, but they need to get it into the end zone quickly as the 2-minute warning will come and go. 24-yard line. Underwood rolling. He's going to throw on the run. He did a good job creating, but that pass unable to be brought in. 4th down and 7. Game on the line here is Underwood in double coverage. It's incomplete. Clemson takes home the playoff victory, and they are on to the semifinals, one step away from the national title appearance. And it's been difficult so far for these quarterbacks and running backs in the 2 previous videos to find themselves as champions. Hasn't happened very often. Winning a title has been difficult, as it should be, and right now against Auburn, 35-21 year situation. One thing it does mean, though, a lot of throwing is going to be needed if you're going to come back in this one. Unfortunately, though, there's just 6 minutes to play, and the handoff on third down and 1's not going to get the first down. Might have been lost half a yard there. They're going to keep it on the ground. This time he gets it, as now you got to go to the air at this point. Under 5 to go. Throwing, screen out, running back, got it. First down, and the lineman decks a safety down the field, my goodness. But it's going to set up third down and 7 a little later on. Throwing it deep, and this is a big time play. It's incomplete. Sets up 4th and 7 from the 44. 3.5 to go. Passes to a wide open man. And there you go. Keep that game alive. Red zone opportunity as he's going to step up and run for it. He's got the first down. He slides down at the 3-yard line. If he could score before the 2-minute warning, it'd be huge. He's got time in the pocket and he's going to take off. He's in. And they score with 27 seconds to spare from the 2-minute warning, so that'll give them an extra timeout. Auburn, though, going to try to run for the first down here. 3rd down and 3. They'll throw it this time as they'll get an incomplete pass, so it saves Clemson a timeout as well. 2-minute warning is still on their side. They're going to reach for the first down. They still have a timeout in their back pocket. Clemson's working this beautifully right now as they're going to get hit as he's throwing, but he takes the shot down the seam. Touchdown, what a throw. He took a shot and he delivered a beautiful pass in between 2 defenders, and suddenly we're all tied up. Auburn may be contemplating overtime, but they just got a screen for 21 yards, and now they're in business as they flow it over the middle. It's caught, and they are in field goal range with that level of quickness as now inside the 20, spin move down to the 12, and Auburn can run down the clock, kick a short field goal, and even though Clemson gave Auburn fans a little bit of a scare, they're going to come out and get the job done on a last-second field goal, but I have to commend the Clemson offense for what they were able to do at the end of that game. DeMar Johnson does catch a touchdown, and he's already sitting here at a 93 overall. His season, not nearly as good. One more catch, but a couple hundred less yards and a lot less touchdowns. But at a 93 overall and overall 2 successful seasons, he's going to go pro, and he will be a first-round draft pick. So the first wide receiver in and out of college pretty quickly, and a successful one. Matthew Golden, his second college career is going to be starting at Michigan. Ian Cash now at Tennessee, looking really good. A lot of great attributes to him, like very well balanced receiver as well. Matthew Golden is an elite development. What are even the odds of having one of these videos and the player's literally named Matthew Golden and he's a wide receiver? That's ridiculous. Next guy though, Anthony Aragon. Talking about names, that's a really cool name. He's a speedster, wide receiver, 94 speed, 93 XL. Looks to be pretty fun. And then we go to the next season. Golden didn't get any playing time at Michigan, 0 catches on the board. And then for Ian Cash at Tennessee, they took on Army in their bowl game, and to no surprise, the Tennessee Army bowl game ends 41-10. You know, in the previous video with the running backs, if there were situations where there were maybe blowouts, it was still maybe beneficial to hop in and watch. But in this situation, not so much. They're going to be running the football. Ian Cash, though, 14 touchdowns on the season. Not a 1,000-yard year, but a really good job getting in the end zone. Matthew Golden's already out of Michigan. I think it'd be hilarious if he went to Texas, but hey, he went to NIU. And, you know, if there's ever a time to plug it, NIU Dynasty on the channel if you want a full-fledged Dynasty series. I don't think Matthew Golden's going to be on our team at any point. But Ian Cash is looking like an absolute superstar now, and then Matthew Golden jumped up a decent amount of overalls. He's by far the best receiver on that Husky squad. And then the next guy, Anthony Aragon, impact development, but still a solid overall, and will get playing time as a true freshman. So even though he doesn't have the crazy development, he's a good enough overall to see playing time. And then we have Javier Duggan, gem, 6'6", 92 speed, gem. That is insane. He looks to be maybe the best prospect that we're going to have, because that's going to be hard to top. Ian Cash comes second in best wide receiver, and unfortunately for Matthew Golden, he has a really good 6 weeks of his season at NIU and then gets injured. USC just barely misses out on the playoffs. They're number 12 seed, but they did not get in. And then we move to Tennessee. Ian Cash coming off a runner-up in best wide receiver. Let's see what he and the Tennessee offense can do. Pass outside is going to be caught, and a first down. We jump ahead to 3rd down and 1 from the 30-yard line. Handoff, first down and more, and a gain of 9 as they're going to get to the red zone and the read option. He's going to be looking for a lane, and he's got it! Touchdown! So even though we didn't really see Ian Cash on that drive, Tennessee finally finds the end zone, and it was a great job from the rushing attack. 3 and out forced by Tennessee's defense as they get good field position. First down carry, now at about midfield. He's going to throw, and he's got time. He's loaded up, throwing it down the field. Incompleted, double coverage. We'll have to punt to Iowa State. It's been surprising that the defenses have been as good as they have been, as a 3 and on the other side's going to be forced by Tennessee. So they take the football back, right back where they were, about midfield, play action, throw it deep, it's in, Cash! Cash, and that's your runner-up for wide receiver of the year. Touchdown! Ian Cash puts Tennessee up by 2 scores, and it's 17-7 with 5 to go. And with a flurry of offense, I don't think Iowa State's going to be able to respond, considering they've only put up 7 points all game. We'll see if they are a late blooming offense in this game, just like Tennessee's was. 4th down and 1 the situation, but the blitz sent in and a sack. So Tennessee's got it, 2-score lead, great field position, and another first down as this offense is heated up. And now in the red zone once more, run right up the middle. He's barreling inside the 5, goal to go. And now Tennessee, 3-score lead, quarterback punches it in again. Tennessee's gonna win their bowl game. Good end to Ian Cash's career, because I'd be shocked if he came back in school for another season with how high of an overall he is, how good of a season he had. Got a touchdown in the bowl game, and overall he ends up breaking the SEC single season record for catches. And all he needed was the 2 catches in the bowl game for 140 on the year, 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns. How about a 20-catch, 260-yard, 4-touchdown game against East Carolina? Now we move over to USC, who, I mean, didn't get the best bowl matchup, because you go so close to making the playoffs, and then instead you got to face 6-6 Louisiana. Though they have kept it close, it's 28-21, as Aragon, as a true freshman, is one of the starting receivers. Not the number 1, maybe not the number 2 target, but he has gotten a decent amount of production in his first season. As USC gonna scramble, tight end hits a block, and they're at the 5-yard line. Now back up to the 7, 3rd down and goal. Pass is caught, and it will be short. 4th down and 2. They're gonna go for it, as they could kick the field goal for the 2-score lead, but they'll take a 2-touchdown lead instead. Louisiana got 5.5 minutes to go, and the pressure, sack, fumble. Louisiana keeps it, but now back up to 4th and 17, as he's going to get brought down again. And yeah, the talent of USC shining through here. Another touchdown, and that will be game. Maybe not the playoff appearance you wanted, but a bowl win regardless, as it's 49-21 your final. Aragon ends up with a 8-catch, 80 yards and a touchdown game. And overall, how about 956 yards, 8 touchdowns as a true freshman? It's a really nice season. 3 100-yard games. So, I mean, for a freshman, really nice. Ian Cash ends up being a 1st-round draft pick, no surprise there. And Javier Duggan, with as crazy talent as he has, he's going to end up going to Texas Tech. We'll see if he can have a Michael Crabtree type of career if we're talking about Texas Tech. Great wide receivers, as Matthew Golden's looking really good at NIU, though NIU's not really all that good of a team. Aragon's still going to be a starter, despite him not being some superstar level overall. And Duggan, elite development. And the fact that he's 6'6" and can almost have like 99 level speed, I mean, his quickness can still go up even more. Next receiver is going to be a bust, and about a 6'6" wide receiver, but he's got 82 speed, so not quite Javier Duggan. As Matthew Golden doesn't end up making a bowl game, but I mean, he got to farm some great statistics in the MAC. How about a 200-yard game against Western Michigan, 1,000 yards overall, and we move on. Javier Duggan, as a true freshman, is also going to get an opportunity to be a starter, so it's cool to see some of these guys as true freshmen get legitimate starting opportunities at decent schools. That's going to be an interception. Texas Tech turns it over. I'm curious to see maybe if Duggan, you know, being elite development, wanted to go to a place he can start year 1, farm up as much development as he possibly can, and then transfer up to a big-time contending school. Or maybe he just stays at Texas Tech, has great seasons, and then moves on to the NFL. Maybe he takes Texas Tech to new heights, as that's going to be a field goal for the Gators to make it a 20-17 game. Backed up now, 3rd down and 18 for Texas Tech. That wobbler is going to be caught for a 1st down, and a big conversion with 5 minutes to play. As that pass over the middle is going to be caught, and a 1st down pass midfield. As it's not Duggan's, other receivers getting involved. Handoff on 3rd down and 2. 1st down, Texas Tech in position to maybe tie this game up. Can they get the lead? As that quick pass is going to be caught, and a 1st down. Texas Tech moving it. They were inside their own 10 at one point, and now they're inside Florida's 10. All the way down to about the 2-minute warning. Handoff, Texas Tech down to the 1. They call it a touchdown. I do not know about that one, but he got into the end zone according to the referees. And now Texas Tech with the lead and a minute to play. Florida is going to run a run forward. He's scrambling. He's going to reach for it, and he's got the first down. 55 seconds to go. Needing to go 60 yards, and he's got to play to get a lot of those yards that he needed. 25 of them. Now he needs to go another 35, and a strike down the seam. First down to the 10. Two big 25-yard plays, and now with just under 30 seconds to go, 4th and 7. Last opportunity after a 4-yard gain on 3rd and 11. Back to the line. 20 seconds. One final opportunity. Snap. He's going to try to run forward. He's got the lead. Diving in. Touchdown. And Texas Tech might just be stunned on the last opportunity as they catch that sort of Hail Mary try, but it wasn't really much of a Hail Mary as they came about 45 yards short, and the Gators steal it at the end. Thought both teams had really good drives to end it, but Duggan, I mean, he had 78 yards on 5 grabs, 838 yards of 5 touchdowns overall, so a pretty solid season. Just a single 100-yard game, but it was a big game against a ranked SEC opponent. You go on to USC, as it's going to be Anthony Aragon, a starting wide receiver, now coming off a almost 1,000-yard true freshman season, is taking on Texas. 35-28 your score, but USC at the goal line, they're going to get it in for the touchdown, and USC 2-score lead as Texas takes over. It's been a high-scoring game for this USC offense, and Texas with a big play now through the air. They had a lot to keep up with this USC offense. It's not just Aragon, it's a whole bunch of wide receivers. Even though their overalls aren't particularly high, they are productive, as that's going to be swatted down on 3rd down. 4th down and 6 the situation as Texas over the middle got the first. And they get to keep the game alive a little bit longer. You have to think if they didn't get that 2-score deficit with 7 minutes to go and turning the football over, it'd be over. But look at that catch in the end zone. Touchdown for Texas. I mean, you know, a lot of people have had things to say about that animation. It's very rare to see that one get caught. And speaking of catches, Texas got a catch on defense, interception, and right now they can tie this game up as the sweep outside's going to lose 5 yards. USC's defense got to play some damage control, and they're doing a phenomenal job at that. Another 3-yard loss. 3rd down and 18. To the air. He's going to break out of 1 sack. He finds his check down, and he's actually going to salvage a lot of yards. That's like a 20-something yard swing from avoiding a sack to getting 14 yards. And now a 4th down they went for it, but they're not going to get it. I understand why they went for it, though. Field goal's not going to help them out too much, especially when on the other end, Anthony Aragon's got the first down grab. And now 3rd down and 4 is the situation for this USC offense. Quarterback's going to run for it, past the 40, slides at the 33. And now they can take a 2-score lead. They're in field goal range. Pass over the middle, going to be caught. And another first down to the 22-yard line. Quick RPO pass to the tight end. Catch and run inside the 10 to the 6. 400 yards through the air for their quarterback is over the middle, a touchdown. USC's offense at 49 points. And now Texas, how disappointing is it got to be to put up 35 points and have such a good offensive day, and it does not matter. 4th down and 2 the situation as they go play action, caught, and the game stays alive a little bit longer. Can Texas claw back within a 1-score game? Look at the broken tackles there. He refuses to go down. Took like 4 or 5 guys to get him. As now 2-minute warning has hit. It's going to be 4th down and 2 as this game on the line now with a run. He's not going to get there. USC's going to put an end to this one, it looks like. One more first down, and he's got it. Game over as the Trojans win in the Rose Bowl as they go from number 2 seed to the semifinals right now. Aragon 9 grabs in his playoff game. Things took a complete 180 though right now against LSU. You put a 49 against Texas. Right now you only got 7 against LSU. LSU though only got 9 on the board, so still very close game. And USC's defense gets the sack. Taking over possession as now the read option. He's not going to get forward though, just 2 yards. 3rd and 6 the situation. Handing it off, and he's going to lose yards. Got to throw it there, you think, especially with how good this LSU defense has been. But equally as good has been the Trojan defense. 5.5 to go. And these two teams just trading punts as now finally a big run's going to get them into LSU territory. Now throwing up the play action right down the middle. Caught inside the red zone. And now finally opportunity to take the lead. Run game, those losing them yards. They back up 7 on 2 plays. 3rd and 17. They're going to just throw it short. I think that's a smart decision. Just play for the field goal at this point with how low scoring it has been. LSU struggling to find the end zone. It's a 10-9 USC lead with 3 minutes to play. LSU underneath, first down completion. And we move ahead to the 2-minute warning, and it's 3rd and 7. Another opportunity as they try to throw one deep this time. Knocked away, and the opportunity for the defense to finally get off the field with the lead is going to be not happening. So much time in the pocket there, just so much time. The pressure's got to do better on that play, as now a contested grab into field goal range down the seam, and in the red zone they go. USC out of timeouts, run the football, first down. LSU can run this clock down. Don't throw an incomplete pass, you have to think, and they throw a touchdown instead. So I guess in that case you gave USC an opportunity. It would have been better if you just kicked the field goal, but 20 seconds, no timeouts needing to go. Over 60-plus yards as they're going to slide down on the quarterback run midfield. They spike it with 12 seconds to play. Down the middle, first down again. You spike it. You got to get back to the line. You still need 40 yards to go, but it looks like they're not going to spike it. They're actually going to call the play, and this is going to be it right here, it looks like. Time running out, and he's going to throw it short, and it's going to be intercepted. I would say not the best way to manage the end of the game. I mean, at least if you're going to do that, take that football and drive it to the end zone. But it will be a LSU win, so the talented offense was able to get stopped. Eric got another 7 grabs, touchdown the bowl game. He goes over 1,000 yards on the season and has another really nice year, 2 100-yard games. I mean, he's not putting up superstar level performances, but he's playing pretty well. Matthew Golden ends up getting drafted in the 5th round, and next receiver goes to Texas A&M. So Aragon back for a 3rd season as a starter. He looks really good. I mean, he just hasn't broken out into being like a 95 overall type of guy because he doesn't have the elite development. He doesn't have what Javier Duggan has for his skill sets. He's not 6'6" with 92 speed and elite development. So Gallipo is, I'm gonna assume, is what the name is here for the next guy. He looks pretty all right. Star development, DeMarcus Grubbs. How about a route artist gem? 91 medium route running. That is awesome. I like seeing little stats like that are just so good. I mean, 91, like that's got to be about as high as you're gonna find it. I would be really surprised if you're seeing guys with 94 plus or something like that in like the route running category. So, you know, getting somebody in the low 90s has got to be about as good as it gets. So you go to Texas Tech, Duggan in another bowl game against Old Dominion this time, and we'll see if they can pull off a bowl victory this time around, as they're going to get stopped on 4th down. Old Dominion punts it, and now throwing it to Duggan here, and look at Duggan getting involved in the passing attack. Their quarterback's got 4 interceptions on the day. Orpio right up the middle of the field, of the tight end's going to get the first down into enemy territory, as he's going to get hit as he's throwing this time around, and the receiver pulls it in. 4th down and 3 the situation, though. Play action, and he's going to get brought down. You're struggling against Old Dominion. 2 minutes to play, and this game not over yet because Texas Tech gets the stop, and now on the other end, thrown underneath, caught, and it will be into Old Dominion territory with 1.5 minutes to play from the 46-yard line. He's running. This quarterback has no idea what he's doing. He's thrown 4 picks, gotten sacked a couple of times, and now throwing right down the middle. There you go. That's a big play. Get a receiver involved, and you have to think in the red zone is where Duggan should be able to shine, but they find a wide open tight end instead. Always going to take a wide open man for a go-ahead touchdown with 29 seconds to play, and Duggan's going to end up getting the 2-point conversion, so we jump ahead to a Hail Mary try for Old Dominion, and even though that's going to be caught, I mean, it's 35 yards shy, so not much of a Hail Mary, but a victory in the bowl game this time around for the Red Raiders, as Duggan, he caught the 2-point conversion, had just 3 catches, though, overall on the day, and as a season, actually a step back, 700 yards and 2 touchdowns, and I don't think it's a lack of opportunity. I don't think it's even on him either. I think just not on a good enough team. We jump ahead to the playoffs. Aragon and USC back in, and they're taking on Ohio State. They made the Final Four last year. This time, can they take themselves to a national title appearance? Aragon's third year as a starter, and we'll see if he's got an even bigger season in him, as it's going to be a run and a touchdown. This USC offense, I mean, hey, other than that LSU game, putting up 40 points plus, all these games are just so high scoring. Ohio State's got to keep up. Handoff is going to be for a first down. Ohio State down by 14 with 6.5 to go, and the pass down the middle is going to be caught. But, I mean, just like against the Texas team last year in the playoffs, it doesn't matter if Ohio State might go up and put up 35, maybe even 40 points. It might not be enough because this USC offense is just so talented. But Ohio State is pulling themselves into the red zone for a one-score deficit. They're going to be inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Goal to go as they'll drop back. 2nd and goal. And he's going to throw for the end zone. It's broken up. 3rd down and goal. Ohio State needing it badly, but he's getting sacked. And now 4th and goal from the 14. Key situation. He's throwing it short of the goal line, and it's a stop for USC. 2-score lead. Take the football over. And now this game might be all but over with another first down. And they have it. Game is done. USC puts up another 40-point playoff performance. And for Aragon, it's 102 yards and a touchdown. 3 different receivers go over 100. And now taking on SMU in this second round matchup, as it's 24-24. The score here to 11-2 teams as USC's defense gets the sack, forces the stop, and now they get a 3rd down situation of their own where that pass is going to be broken up. Went to one of their 3 talented receivers. I'm pretty sure all 3 USC receivers are over 1,000 yards this season. That's how talented their passing attack has been. Play action for SMU, though, as they're going to throw for a first down to the 37-yard line in that scoring range for a 50-plus yard field goal, but that's going to help them out a lot. Get another 22-yard line with a big grab. Now they're going to swing one out, and the tackle's going to be made. How about setting up 3rd and 17 after the loss? 28-yard line pass. They're just going to be pretty content with taking a field goal try for the lead. And will 27 points be enough to stop this USC team from rolling on to another victory as they're going to run the scramble for the first down? I would have to actually bet no. I think this USC team is going to put up 30 plus again as their receiving core is just too talented. As now from the 49-yard line, pass outside is going to be caught, and Aragon's got the first down. He's got 6 for 150 right now. He's having a massive day, and he's coming up big with back-to-back 100-yard performances. Running back can also be a threat out of the backfield. Who can't catch the football on this team as they'll pass it outside? Caught, and another one of their receivers got it down to the 3-yard line. 2-minute warning has hit. Pass over the middle, tight end, touchdown. It doesn't matter if it's outside, inside, running back, tight end. Someone's going to catch this football for a touchdown as now SMU backed up 4th and 11 from their own 10. Game on the line, pass in double coverage is incomplete. And now from the 3, this game is going to be over with a touchdown grab. And USC will move on to the semifinals. 38-27 your score. And like I said, Aragon, what a big day. 150 and a touchdown along a 58. 2 different 100-yard receivers. And now taking on Penn State in the Final Four. Pass on the outside. There goes Aragon. First play we watch in the 4th quarter is going to be an Aragon first down catch and run. 32-yard line. RPO. Got the tight end for the first. At the 21-yard line now, threatening to go tie this game up as they'll sweep it. And he's going to fight ahead, get it to goal to go. 9-yard line, 9 minutes to play. Pass over the middle. He's down to the 1. And from the 1, you can run it in as they will hand it off. And they will get in. Tie game. 24-24, just like we were SMU. 24-24 was the score. As that pass is intercepted. Pressure got in. He got hit. As if this offense needed any help. Good field position's going to set them up, even though they lose yards on the run. 3rd down and 13 is the situation. They'll throw a screen to Aragon. It's actually going to lose yards. And now from the 36, it's a long field goal try. Kick. Good. So the interception still nets them points. And now Penn State with 6 to go is getting sacked, and that's the 5th of the game for USC's defense. Swing out a screen on 3rd down and 15. That's basically conceding possession to the Trojan offense as they will go play action. More good field position for the Trojans as they get a 1st down. To the 37-yard line they go. 2nd and 7, quick pass. Receiver's got it. He's got speed. He's got it to the 21-yard line. They're over 300 yards through the air. Play action. Down the middle. It's intercepted. He threw for Aragon, but the safety jumped in front. And Penn State's got life. They needed it in the worst way. And now with 3.5 to go, scrambling. He's got the 1st down and to the 35-yard line. If that went a little bit differently, if that got to Aragon, he got in the end zone, the game could be over, but maybe it's over anyway. 2nd interception for number 19 in the 4th quarter as the turnovers on both sides are coming up big. As now USC back on offense. Swing it outside. It's intercepted. Penn State. Both quarterbacks turning it over, but Penn State this time. Pick 6. Wow, that just changed in an instant. 2 interceptions by Penn State on back-to-back possessions is going to save them potentially, as now the 2-minute warning has hit from 3rd down and 6. USC throwing it outside. He's not going to get there. He loses yards. 4th down and 9. Game on the line potentially. It's incomplete. Penn State takes over and you need to hold them to a field goal, but in the end zone, it's an interception. What are these quarterbacks doing? The only issue is you need to go 99 yards if you're going to want to win this game. Aragon gets a 3-yard grab, 1:30 to play as he's got time in the end zone. There's Aragon. He gives them breathing room, and now with just 70 seconds to play, 1st down for the tight end, 38-yard line, as they still need a long way to go, but they got halfway there, past midfield. Can they do it? 50 seconds to play from the 45-yard line, and it's a sack. 4th and 17, last chance, and they're gonna just check it down, and it's gonna be game over. That was a chaotic 4th quarter. That seen, what was that, 5 interceptions? That does not happen often. Aragon goes for 194 yards on 14 catches, and it's not enough. He sets the career USC record. How about 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, and look at how he closed his season. What was that, 7 straight 100-yard games to close the year. Javier Duggan, very valid. He's going to transfer. Gallipo's going to transfer as well after not playing as a freshman. Duggan ends up going to Notre Dame, which is a really nice landing spot. Gallipo ends up at Boise State. So we move to Jamarcus Grubbs, the next receiver who goes to Tulane. I like that I've gotten opportunities to plug things because I have a Road to Glory wide receiver on the channel, and the wide receiver's at Tulane. So go check that out if you're into Road to Glory. Just, plug some other stuff. But Aragon, his development trait went up. I think it's really cool that we're actually going to get something very rare, a 4-year wide receiver starter. That does not happen. Receivers, especially ones as good as Aragon, are usually gone to the NFL by, year 3 at worst because, they're just so productive and they get high enough overall. And then other instances, they don't play as a true freshman. It is rare to have that happen. How about James Williams too? 91 medium route running again, 91 speed, 91 excel. What was that also, like 91 agility? Just 91s across the board. So we're going to have playoff action here for both Notre Dame and USC, but first we have Grubb, who's at Tulane, getting some playing time early on in his career as Tulane takes the shot deep, touchdown, and cutting it down to a 1-score game. 28-23 your score. Pass deep from UNC, one-on-one, and that's gonna be incomplete. They'll turn it over, but now a 3rd down situation for Tulane, and they'll get stopped, so they'll punt it back to UNC. And UNC from the 14, run play, right up the middle. Nice job, and a gain of 14. 3 minutes to play. Time is starting to run out. If Tulane wants to make this 2-score comeback, they will get the football back at the 2-minute warning, as they will throw. Deep pass, and it's gonna be incomplete. That was a tough one to bring in. 4th down and 9 the situation. How about throw it deep again, this time on the right side of the field? And it's not gonna happen either. So, well, UNC takes over, and with the inability to throw that football vertically down the field, it's not going to help Tulane out if they're going to try to make a comeback in this one. The defense, though, does hold up to a field goal, which means it's still a one-score game with a minute to play. But when you're getting sacked like that, losing 10 yards, losing time, and making it 3rd and 14, I don't know what your chances really are. They throw it short of the line to get half the yards back, but 4th and 7 for the game. How about throwing over the middle, caught for the first down, so they're going to keep it alive a little bit longer. You're down to under 30 seconds to go, and that pass caught, so you're stringing together a couple of first downs, but you don't have any real time. You need to at least take a shot deep this time around, as you can't take a sack here. He's not very fast, and he takes the sack, and now 4 seconds to play. They got the spike off. Hail Mary opportunity. He's actually going to get it down the field. I don't know if it's going to be far enough. It's inside the 10, but it's incomplete. And the game is over, so that means we move on to playoff action. I do think it's impressive, though, that we've seen now like a couple consecutive receivers be true freshman players, as Grubbs did get banged up in that game, 800 yards. Well, let's move on. Anthony Aragon, to try to wrap up his college career in a big way, came close to a national title appearance, but this year, I am really disappointed. This one hurt. 43-7 is the final. That just was brutal. Aragon just 2 grabs in the game, and he ends up with a 1,100-yard season. 15 touchdowns, though, and how about 5 more 100-yard games from him? Had a really nice season. Not quite as good as the year previously, though, but unfortunately, you just get the occasional flat ending to a career, and that was one of them. But that doesn't take away from what Aragon has done, as that pass is going to be intercepted. This is a really big game right now. Toledo, 12 ranked, but 14-0, and right now taking on a Notre Dame team who got a first-round bye, and obviously all the talent Notre Dame has, not just Duggan, but typically this Notre Dame team's pretty stacked, and somehow Toledo has won a playoff game and now is winning 38-31 on Notre Dame, as the Irish got a first down grab there inside the 30-yard line. This would be one heck of an upset for Toledo if they're able to pull this one off, as that pass is going to be brought in short of the line. 4th and inches. They go read option, and he's got the first at the 14-yard line. 4 minutes to play. Time is running out, but the read option on 3rd down and 1. He's going to lose maybe half a yard. It's 4th down and 1. It's a long yard. They go read option again, and he's got it. They keep doing the same thing, and I guess it works. 1st down and goal. 2-yard line. Handoff. Touchdown. And Notre Dame ties it up. 3 minutes to play. Still plenty of time for Toledo to pull off a monumental upset, especially when they go down the middle. Is he going to go all the way? He's going to get tracked down. But a massive gain already at field goal range. Toledo intercepted. No. Toledo throws it away. I don't even know what I'm rooting for in this game. It's very rare to see a team like Toledo do this. But also at the same time, I'd like to see Duggan get some action. So there's no losing in this one, as that's a first down completion with under 2 minutes to play. They're over 400 yards passing and trying to get close to the field goal range, but 3rd down and 12 the situation. 1 first down will be a game changer here, as they are going to throw it incomplete. That's a great job from Toledo's defense to break that one up. 1:17 to play. He's scrambling, and after a good field position from the punt, they're in enemy territory with one big scramble, but 40 seconds to go. 3rd and 6. It's a sack. So they punt it. Notre Dame runs the last 30 seconds off the clock, and it will be overtime. So we're at 38-38 overtime, and now a pass on the run. It's going to be caught. What a grab. Touchdown in double coverage in the corner. Touchdown for Notre Dame, and now Toledo needs to respond with one play. It's all they needed. Slayer route takes it the distance. That's the quickest overtime you will ever see. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns. 45-45 in overtime number 2. Toledo starts with it, and they get a run for the first down. 6-yard line, handing it off, and he's in. Touchdown Toledo. 51 on the board, and now the 2-point conversion. It is good. Notre Dame's turn. Their turn to respond. Can they do it? As that pass is going to be caught at the 11. They need the touchdown. They need the 2 to send it to a shootout scramble. He's sliding down at the 4-yard line, and 4 yards away from the goal line. He's got it right at the 1. That's so close. As now Notre Dame 1st and goal from the 1. He's scrambling. He's got it. Touchdown. But the 2-point conversion to send it to a shootout. It's good! We're onto a 2-point shootout. It's 53-53. As now he's going to be rattled and pressured and sacked. Toledo on the verge of an all-timer. Can they get it? No! We're on to overtime 4. Toledo up first. They'll throw it. It's caught but short. And Notre Dame can win it now for the game. Throwing wide open. Good. And a 55-53 victory for the Irish. And Toledo almost just pulled that one off. Duggan goes for 78 yards on 7 grabs. What a game. And now how about having to stick in the state of Ohio if you want to go and make a national championship appearance? You got to take out Ohio State this time around. 22-19 your score as Notre Dame losing, but with the football in their possession at midfield, they go read option. He's going to keep it. His quarterback has done a lot of work on the ground as now 6 minutes to play. He goes play action, and that pass is caught. And a first down into the red zone they go. 2nd down and 2, and now a run. He's got it inside the 10. Just 4.5 to go as he will get pressured and brought down. Sack, loss of 6. 4 minutes. 2nd and goal and another sack. And you can maybe wipe the touchdown off the board here. You got to go 21 yards. And the pressure for Ohio State. 3 in a row. Field goal for the tie is good. You look to your defense who can get off the field here. And a 3 and out. Nice job for the Irish. Good punt from Ohio State, sets them back far, but a first down, grab it, a gain of 15 will set them up now. 2nd down and 8 after a 2-yard gain. Pass down the middle is caught, and a big grab to set them up as one play away from field goal range, and there it is. They're in field goal range with just over a minute to play, and can they do it here as they get stopped 4th and 1? Ohio State's defense did just enough to at least give their offense a try to send this to overtime or maybe even win it as Ohio State. I don't think you want to go to overtime again if you're Notre Dame. You can't be feeling too good after that game against Toledo where you barely scraped by and you had to exert every bit of energy you had. The endurance of this team is probably going to be crazy if you go out there and pull this one off. Ohio State in field goal range, and they're going to run it, get a little bit closer, and run back to the line to spike it, kick a field goal, and oh boy, we are headed to overtime again. 25-25 the score, so I don't think we're going to get 50 on the board from these two teams, but now Notre Dame, they're going to war with the state of Ohio. A sack for the Irish, dropping to throw it now on 2nd and 17. They get the sack yards back and set themselves up for 3rd and 7. Man in motion, they go bunch as he will roll right, throw it, and it's caught. He brought that one in. And a 3rd and 1 from the 5. And on the run, touchdown, Ohio State. Turn it over to Notre Dame, who needs to respond. Just like they did against Toledo, they will out of the 1-yard line. They just got to punch it in, hand it off, and they will. 2 overtimes now. Let's go to the next one where Notre Dame, immediate touchdown. They refuse to go down as they go for the run. 2-point conversion. It's a fumble in the end zone, but Notre Dame jumps on it. Huge awareness from whoever that was as Ohio State needs a touchdown to 2 as they put them in the same situation that Toledo put them in as they're down to the goal line. Goal to go from the 2. Handoff is in. Are we going to another shootout? 2-point conversion. He's got it. And we're going to triple overtime again. And now Ohio State gets stopped in the backfield. Can Notre Dame win it? And they throw back in the end zone. Duggins got it. And then Javier Duggins wins the game, sends them to the national championship. How have the Irish done this? 2 games, 7 cumulative overtimes. Duggan sets the single season record for catches for Notre Dame. And now on to the national championship. Has the magic run out? They're no longer facing a team in the state of Ohio as they're taking on Georgia, who picks them up. And Georgia up 25-20 will end the crazy run of Notre Dame as they will run it for a first down at midfield. 7 minutes to play. If you hold them to a field goal here, you keep it a one-score game, as they're definitely going to get into field goal range with that one. They go 26 yards on the scramble. 3rd down and 2 after an 8-yard gain. And they throw the RPO. He's reaching. He's got it. First down. And the reach is just enough. Staying on the ground, a fumble! Notre Dame has the football, and everything just keeps coming up lucky for the Irish. As they got now 4 minutes to play and an opportunity, scrambling for a first down. I do not know how this team is still alive. Throw it deep. Pass is almost picked off. 3rd down and 7. 3:20 to go. Pass underneath. Caught for the first down. And Notre Dame 56 yards away from glory as they get a first down to the tight end. And that's tradition for Notre Dame. Their tight ends coming up big in big moments. Oh my goodness, what a shot from the edge rusher. As now 3rd and 15. Intercepted. I think the luck of the Irish is running out. 2-minute warning is about to hit. Georgia just needs a little bit more to put them away for good. 3rd down and 8 the situation. Throwing potentially for your game as it's up in the air. It's intercepted! Notre Dame! How are they still here? This would go down as an all-time great championship run if they pull it off with just a minute and a half to go. Throw it on the run. That's going to be caught. And a first down. And more to the 46-yard line. As now they throw once more over the middle. It's caught, and he's in enemy territory. They get an injury timeout from the 37-yard line. Just about 70 seconds to go. Intercepted, Georgia, taking it back the other way in Notre Dame. Finally, the luck of the Irish has run out, and the Bulldogs win the title. As what a dramatic playoff run for Notre Dame. That was unbelievable. 2 games. That one went to 4 overtimes, one went to 3 overtimes, and then that back and forth at the end. Duggan ends up with 110 grabs, a lot of big time performances. He'll go to the draft. I think 4th round would be a steal if you get Javier Duggan, and a team in the NFL does get him in the 4th round. I think that is easily somebody who should have been drafted higher. Anthony Aragon goes in the 2nd round after his amazing career. And well, how about reloading if you're USC? James Williams goes to USC immediately after Aragon leaves. Now, the team that James Williams is coming into isn't the same as the one Aragon came into, where he got to start as a true freshman. James Williams, he's buried on the depth chart quite far, as you know, after the last couple of years and watching that passing attack dominate the way they do it. You can't really blame a lot of receivers for hopping on board, wanting to be a part of that Trojan offense. At this point in the video, though, with Aragon and Duggan leaving, those being the 2 stars of the previous group of guys, you have to wait for the next crop of people to pop up and take their job as starters. Gallipo at Boise State, just 7 catches on his season, and he also tore his pectoral. He's big injury for him. But Tulane, DeMarcus Grubbs is back as a starter at Tulane, having another bowl game appearance. He's been, all right for Tulane, but maybe it's a school that he is in that's holding him back a little bit. You already seen that with Duggan. Even though Texas Tech and Tulane aren't bad schools, they aren't superstar level programs that really, put out top tier receiving talent these days, even though Texas Tech has that passing offense. I mean, it didn't really translate for Duggan, who only had about 1,500 yards in 2 seasons as an out-and-out starter for them. But for Tulane, they are down 26-24 with 4 minutes to play, and you'll see if DeMarcus Grubbs can come out here and make any big plays, as he does for a first down. He's at 96 yards on 5 catches, and how about another one for Grubbs? A short gain, but that's going to lead to a punt because you didn't get the first down. And now A&M can maybe run out the clock here. First down or 2 will do it, as they will get a first down this time around. So 1 more for the game. 3rd down and 6. He's going to take a shot deep. He wants it all, and it's incomplete. So Tulane will get 1 more try at it. Minute and a half to play, as they'll fire one down the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. 4th and inches, can run the football, but they're going to throw it. Quick pass, got the first down, and they will keep their opportunity to win this game alive, as now from the 41, pass is going to be intercepted, and there you go. That's the opportunity slipping away. as Tulane goes down in their bowl game against A&M. And this is a spot where you might look at what happened with, Javier Duggins. Grubbs 88 overall, not quite NFL ready, but 2 seasons of nice years, but not, great years, under 1,000 yards, and you're looking at him saying maybe he should transfer. Well, yes, he does. Brand exposure is the reason. I think that's a fair transfer, and he's going up to Ole Miss, so I think that is a phenomenal landing spot for him, and we'll see if he has a similar type of season like Duggins had, where he goes all the way to a national championship appearance and has a school record type of season. DeMarcus Grubbs, though, look at the route running on him. My goodness, 99, 99, 98. Is this prime pre-CTE Antonio Brown level route running here? That is insane. James Williams, I thought maybe he'd transfer because he was like 9th on the depth chart. But no, he just jumps up an insane amount of overalls and goes from like 9 to 1 basically. So yeah, he's looking amazing, and USC might be back in the conversation. Next receiver, Jimmy Culver, is going to be a bust. We will have action, though, in the next season. DeMarcus Grubb and Ole Miss, they're in the playoffs, taking on Georgia. And then elsewhere, Gallipo, just 3 catches for 30 yards, so he's not been able to really establish himself in the lineup. USC, not quite as successful as they were when Aragon was there, just 8-4 on the season, but James Williams is out here as a starter in his bowl game, and a big grab for these USC receivers and a touchdown. It just feels like every time we're watching USC, a star wide receiver, whether it's a guy that we're spectating and, keying in on or not, they just got stars everywhere at wide receiver. And some of the years that they put up, even when Aragon was there, like it was just like guys with 1,400 yards across the board. Like it's just, my goodness, the production they put out there is insane in this game. So Stanford down by 7, getting sacked on 2nd down and 3rd down, and moving on to a USC possession. Well, they'll throw this one short. Caught for the 1st down with the eyes on that 2-score lead as they inch closer to Stanford territory. They'll throw one on the outside, and there you go, right at about midfield. A couple more yards, and they are in field goal range as they got a lot more than just a couple. Inside the red zone they go on that crosser. 3rd down and 4 the situation, a direct snap, and they got it inside the 10, down to the 6, 4 minutes to play. Play action, end zone, touchdown. And USC up by 2 scores and an interception now on the other end. I presumed was going to give USC the victory, but after this read option where he's got a 1st down, but he tried to reach for it, he fumbled it, and it's scooped up. Stanford on the return, and the receivers are chasing him, but he's just fast enough to take it all the way. And a USC 1-score lead now. As Stanford, they may be down to 1 timeout, and that might be it, as one more 1st down will actually let them survive that potential catastrophic failure, but they throw an interception. USC trying to choke away this bowl game, as now Stanford has it inside the opponent 40-yard line. 3rd down situation, they throw short of the line, it's 1 yard away, they run it, and he's not gonna get there, so a little bit of a scare, a scoop and score, an interception, good field position, but still you couldn't get the job done. James Williams has 70-ish yards and has a total 1,380-yard year after, being the 9th receiver on the depth chart, going all the way up to being a starter and having a spectacular season. Now we move over to DeMarcus Grubbs and his playoff appearance, where Grubbs actually got banged up on that play, and Georgia, they got the football right now, 30-17 after a punt, so they're down by 2 scores to Georgia, and on defense, and DeMarcus Grubb got banged up on a catch on 3rd down, so everything's looking bad for Ole Miss right now, as Georgia's got it inside enemy territory. 42-yard line, 4th down and 2, they punt it, so they were able to at least get off the field here, but now a deep pass, Ole Miss, 1-on-1, incomplete, 4th and 11, and they're going for it, as now they had 7 minutes, you could have maybe punted, trust your defense, but now Georgia's got the football inside the 10-yard line. Run it, goal to go the situation from the 3, as Georgia looking for the 3-score lead, and they have it. as Georgia is maybe going to run away with this one unless he can have something on this possession. 4th down and 3 the situation. Throwing outside. It's not going to be close enough. Game is over. Georgia got it back. They put up more points, and it ends up being a 43-17 game. Grubbs, just 3 catches, and overall on the season was on pace to have a really awesome year, but he only played 9 games, but he had over 800 yards, and man, I mean, if he just got to play the whole year, that was definitely going to be an over 1,000-yard season, so no luck on his side, I guess, but he's still going to be a 2nd-round draft pick. And Zamatis, I think that's how you pronounce his name. That's how I'm going to guess. He goes to South Carolina on the transfer portal. Jimmy Culver is the next guy to just say, no, I'm not going to go anywhere. So Gallipo takes a big leap up. He's finally going to be a starter after all these years at Boise State. James Williams is probably going to go pro after this. And Zamatis is going to be a starter at South Carolina. But for Jimmy Culver, it was another situation where he never showed up. Like, this is a little bit different than guys who are in the transfer portal and don't commit anywhere and then just end up on another team. It's a little bit different where literally if a player like this doesn't actually commit anywhere, like they just don't ever show up. It's not like they walk onto another school. They don't pop up next year as a JUCO. They're not a different position. Trust me, this guy was an athlete. So I looked at the whole roster. I looked at every team's whole roster for a dude named Culver. There was no Jimmy Culver anywhere in the entirety of college football. So just like we did with the previous guy, we're going to cut him out. And if we have time at the end of this dynasty for a 25th overall receiver, I'm going to make sure you guys get 25 number 1 wide receivers in the world of college football. This was also a really crazy year that I see. Boise State for Gallipo, he went 5-7. But imagine having a plus 130 point differential, having the season that he had and losing the amount of games that they did. They went 5-7 and they only scored less than 30 points in 1 game. Look at all these scores. What in the world? They had the number 1 offense in the country, and they had a losing record and didn't make a bowl game. That is the most Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase stuff I have ever seen in my life. How do you have over 500 points on a season, an average margin of victory of 11 points a game, and you had a losing record? That's probably like never happened before. That is unbelievable. But because of that, even though Gallipo had a 1 year of just insane production, yeah, we're not going to see him in action. He's going to, I guess, go to the NFL after being a 1-year wonder, but that's such a wild stat and a wild season. But we're on to James Williams and USC as they find themselves back in the playoff mix. It's 24-17 as USC, after their first round bye, that pass going to be thrown deep and a touchdown for the Seminoles. Deep ball gets the tie game, and we have now a 3rd and 13 for USC as they're going to go to the air. Just a 3-man rush, so you got plenty of time, and nobody got open. Throw it away on a 3-man rush where you had all that time. Now Florida State got great field position. They're basically in field goal range already. 3rd down and 7, and that pass caught. Timeout used for USC and a field goal, and it is good. So we're already down to the 2-minute warning here, and USC needing a touchdown to win it or a field goal to potentially send it to overtime. 2nd and 11, throwing underneath. That's going to be caught. We jump ahead to a 3rd down and 5 with a minute to go. They got an open man on the outside, and they're basically in field goal range now. And they eye the touchdown. 50 seconds to go, and number 84 gets absolutely lit up. Incomplete pass. They'll try the kick, and it is good. We are headed to overtime. USC starts with a first, and the run is going to get him a 1st down, carrying a gain of 14. As now from the 11-yard line, they go play action. He's got time, and he finds his receiver. Touchdown. I feel like they've been targeting number 84 like every play. As now Florida State with the ball, and they get their drive started with a gain of 17. Now we jump ahead, 3rd down and goal from the 2. He's throwing outside, away, and incomplete. 4th down and goal for the game, and they keep it going. Touchdown in a double overtime matchup as now Florida State with it first, and they started on the ground with a gain of 14. Now jump ahead to a 2nd and 8 from the 9. Pass is caught. Touchdown Florida State in a 2-point conversion, and they will have it stopped shy of the line. USC can win it here with a touchdown and a 2, and they're getting sacked. 2nd down and 18 turns to 3rd and 18. Throwing it down the middle. It's caught. And a huge conversion. How about from the 9? 1st and goal. Floated outside. Touchdown. And the 2-pointer for the win. It's intercepted. We're going to a 2-point shootout. 40-40 your score. USC first. They get blown up in the backfield. Now Florida State's turn for the win. Pass caught. 2 points is good. Florida State in triple overtime. We've had way more overtime matchups in this video than any others so far in college football 26. And James Williams ends up with a 72-yard game. How about Harper up there, though? 188 and 2 touchdowns. James Williams, how about another nice year? And, I mean, how about a 220-yard game against UCLA as well? He's going to be a first-round pick. Yeah, he'll be going to the draft. No surprise there. And this is an interesting one. This is a first. Brian Zemaitis went to Clemson, transferred to South Carolina, and now transferred back to Clemson. That's a first, but that's funny. We got that to, I guess, check off our box of things that we just haven't seen yet in a video like this. DeMarco Liggins, the next wide receiver. He goes to Georgia, and he's got elite development. Looks really nice. And then we go to the next receiver. How about from Massachusetts? We got a guy from Mass. It's, you know, we got some unique locations. We had a guy from Hawaii in the running backs video, so it's nice to spread the wealth around of talent all around the country. Zemaitis doesn't make a bowl game at Clemson. Clemson lost a lot this year, but about 1,000 yards, and he's on the fringe of potentially going to the NFL in a 91 overall. And then we go to the playoffs where Georgia took on Troy. Little bit of a mismatch, 44-3. No surprise to see Georgia blow out Troy in a playoff game. But that's going to be DeMarco Liggins, who is a freshman starter. He is the number 3 receiver, though, so he's not like, you know, 1,000-yard starter and the number 1 top guy to go to, but he is getting significant playing time here as a true freshman, which is impressive. And the track record for guys who play as a freshman, a true freshman, has been pretty good so far in this video. Aragon, Liggins, Grubb was good and he got hurt in his final season, but like the track record so far has been pretty good. If you play as a true freshman, you're going to be a pretty dang good player. So Ohio State is up 21-20 in the 2nd round of the playoffs as they will go to handoff, run for a first down. There is just about 7 minutes to go, and at midfield is Ohio State as they run the football again, get a block from the outside. I wouldn't even really call that a block. Look at number 35, the fullback, get absolutely blown up by a Georgia defender. I guess it works, though. It slowed him down. We jump to a 3rd and 13 as that pass over the middle is caught and at least saves them some field position to get into field goal range for a 50-yarder. Kick is good. Georgia is now just down by 4 with 4 minutes to play, and an interception. And Ohio State takes it over right back into field goal range, but Georgia's pressure got in and maybe trying to knock him out. It's going to be a 52-yarder. Kick is blocked. A blocked field goal. About things we never see. A blocked field goal is about as rare as it gets watching these. I don't think I had one all last year. But now you gotta win off a blocked field goal. But you're getting sacked back-to-back plays. It's 4th and 18. 2-minute warning has hit. They got a big play. Throwing it deep. And 2-on-2 incomplete. Ohio State takes over. And Georgia out of timeouts. They get a free one there with an injury from Ohio State. And they will get the stop, save time. They're not going to block this field goal. And the kick is good. So 1-score game, all things considered. 1:20 and no timeouts for Georgia to go 87 yards. They throw it away on 3rd down. Pressure's just destroying them. 4th and 11 with the game on the line. They're throwing it deep again. It's 1-on-1. It's intercepted. And this offense just couldn't do anything at the end. My goodness, a blocked field goal. That shouldn't be as rare as it is, but man, it is rare. I mean, we had a blocked extra point, I think, before in a few videos ago, but not a blocked field goal. DeMarco Liggins, like I said, not a prolific starter, but 600 yards as the team's like number 3 or 4 option. Pretty nice as a true freshman. Eric Pena is gonna go to Colorado as the #1 overall receiver, and Zemaitis actually stays at Clemson, takes a big leap up. DeMarco Liggins has maxed out his quickness. He looks awesome, and he's going to get more opportunities, and then a star development here for a guy at Colorado. So DeMarco Liggins, I think, could be our next, our next guy. Like I said, true freshman starters, good track record. Josh Patonio, our next receiver from Texas, contested specialist, 91 spec catch, really impressive there. And we will see Georgia in the playoffs against Colorado. So Pena is not a starter, but his team will be represented. And Zemaitis did not make a bowl game again. It's weird. Clemson is like the worst I've seen Clemson in a sim. They're just winning like 4 or 5 games a season. They're not making bowl games. But we're in the snow right now. 17-10 is your score, as it is a Georgia lead here, and a play action from the 42. Pass is caught. And the 37-yard line, looking for that first-round playoff victory as they run it right up the middle. It's going to be a first down. He's falling forward for a gain of 14. Now to second down and 8. Screen outside. He finds his way for a first down into about the 10-yard line, where time is ticking down for this Colorado team. And even though they get the stop, it's going to set up a chip shot field goal. But in the snow, it's not so easy. He missed it, and Colorado's got a chance in this one, as the snow comes up clutch for them, and we'll see if they can tie it up if they run a 15 yards from the quarterback. 3:30 to play as they'll roll. He's going to run for it again, and he's got another first down, and this time a lot more than 15. He slides ahead into enemy territory. Bubble screen, blockers out in front. Gain of 12, 3rd and inches. And the run, no, they'll throw in, they get swatted down by a D lineman. And the run on 4th and inches, they do get it anyway. That was a big swat. Minute to play. Colorado running out of time, but they're inside the 10. Goal to go. And we can have a buzzer beater touchdown to send it to overtime. But Colorado's quarterback takes the sack, 19-yard line. Another loss of 8. And all of a sudden, it's 4th and goal from the 27. He can't even get it to the end zone. How about that? You go and you get the missed field goal. Everything seemingly is on your side. You get the great drive all the way inside the 10. Then the second you get close, Georgia's defense, their pressure just turns on. And now on to the next round. Georgia-Auburn, 13-13 in a little SEC matchup. Got under 8 minutes to play as Georgia takes the football at the 16-yard line. A big run is going to get them 19 on the play. As now the tackle for loss. Auburn's defense coming up big with a 3rd and 13. Looks like the pressure got in. A lineman seemingly disrupted the quarterback's throw, and now Auburn takes over. 3rd down situation for them. They go 3 and out. Give it back to Georgia with 5 to go and a swing screen. Right now Auburn's got the field position advantage, but they aren't able to do anything with the football when they got it in good field position. And now Georgia's finally moved the football, and they've moved it into Auburn territory, and things are looking good for the Bulldogs. They lose 2 on that one, but it sets up 3rd down and 4 still as they'll throw for a first down. All right, the 28-yard line, play action. The screen was set up, and the pressure was just dialed in from Auburn. Now throwing the football down the field, and a desperation throw, it felt like, in the face of pressure. It's going to get them all the way to the goal line. Now with the 1, handing it off. Touchdown, Georgia. That one to play down the field, a big contested grab is going to change everything, because now 3rd and 15, 50 seconds to go. I don't know about the run. I mean, it gets you like half the yards, but you're still set up 4th and 7. Russia's coming in, and he's brought down. Georgia can run out this clock, but on 3rd and 21, they just say, why not? Let's throw a deep ball. And Liggins, touchdown to Marco Liggins, a jump ball in the end zone. And one of the most unnecessary deep shot touchdowns that you were going to see. Georgia ends up winning by 14 points. And they move on. Liggins, it caps off a 100-yard 2-touchdown day. As now Georgia in the semifinals are taking on Syracuse, who's 13-1, number 3 in the country. But right now it's 13-7 as it's a run at number 48 for Syracuse with some of the worst play rec I have ever seen in my life. As now Georgia on the carry again. Look at this running back. Oh my goodness. How did he get that many yards on that play? From the 13, throw it over the middle. It's caught for Liggins. Touchdown. And DeMarco Liggins puts Georgia up by 2 scores, and they are closing in on a national championship appearance. 20-7 your score. And Georgia's defense, maybe one big stop here. You give the offense a chance to even extend that lead to an insurmountable deficit. But right now, this orange offense needs something to go their way. Is that pass knocked away on 3rd and 13? 4th and 13 with 5 to go. Going for it. And he's got it. A first down strike. A great throw. But this offense has only put up 7 points all day. And they're in another 4th down situation as they'll throw it deep. And it's 1-on-1. Incomplete. Syracuse not able to do anything against this Georgia defense, and then the offense is coming out of the other end. Big run, and all the way inside the 20. Georgia can extend this lead. Ball is thrown into the dirt, but it will be a field goal try to essentially end this one. I mean, you were only able to put up 7 points all game if you're Syracuse, so, you know, with that deficit of 16, you're not able to close it. They end up losing. And Liggins, 10 catches, 105, and a touchdown, and a national championship appearance. We have not seen anyone win a national championship yet in this video, and this might be the best chance. Penn State's going to get a field goal, but it's 19-14, and DeMarco Liggins has had an incredible playoff run so far, back-to-back 100-yard games with touchdowns on his board. As the screen on the outside, that's not DeMarco Liggins, that's one of the other receivers who's been really productive this playoff run, getting things going in Penn State's defense with a sack. 7 minutes to play. 2nd and 19, pressure in. I think he got left on an island with a tight end, so yeah, that's gonna go their way, and now Penn State gets to stop Liggins with the short grab, but Penn State takes over after the punt, and even though quarterback took a shot there, he delivers a great play. And now 3rd and 6 the situation with 5 minutes to go. First down, Penn State. And now they're in field goal range. It would still be a 1-score game, but it would require a touchdown and the 2-point conversion to get this to overtime. But with 4 minutes to go, 3rd and 12, and they can't get the sack. And not only that, a sack would have maybe knocked them out of field goal range, but they allow a first down, and more time's going to come off the clock. Georgia eventually does stop them, but they lose 2 timeouts, and the field goal is good with under 3 to go. So Georgia, still plenty of time. They just need to put something together on offense. And there's DeMarco Liggins to midfield. And Liggins trying to heat up right now as they're going to throw underneath of the tight end. There you go. First down to the 33-yard line. 1:36 to go as clean pocket. And there's another receiver. That's Rudolph. The other receiver who's put up a monster season. He's at 126 on the game. 120 to play. And it's caught. Liggins down to the 1. And they need it for the tie, but the sack comes in. 8-yard line. Hurry it back to the line. DeMarco Liggins was 1 yard short of the goal line. And now 60 seconds to play. And they check it down underneath. They're going to get 2 yards. Hurry it back to the line. 3rd and goal. Can you come up big here? You got 2 chances to get 6 yards as they throw. And he's rolling. He's gonna get sacked. He ran the wrong direction. You shouldn't have rolled right. He was a little too antsy. Hurry it back to the line one more time. 4th and goal from the 17. National championship on the line. The throw. End zone. Intercepted. Penn State takes it, and a national championship for the Nittany Lions, and another national championship is going to be lost by one of our players. DeMarco Liggins gets 97 yards and a touchdown. He had an awesome playoff run. 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns as a whole. And he saved some of his better performances for a national championship appearance. It made us impressive that we managed to have a 94 overall wide receiver transfer multiple times, and we never got to see him in action because he never made a bowl game. DeMarco Liggins, though, he is back for another season, and he is looking amazing. And if he could have a year like he had last year, he's definitely going to put Georgia back in contention and staple his name into the conversation for the best receiver of the video. Josh Bitonio, who had incredible, spectacular catch, elite development here at Oklahoma, and almost a limitless ceiling. It's just one tick off the hands that's blocked, but everything else is available to be maxed out. Kenya Bourdreau, the next receiver contested specialist from Georgia, athlete player, 6'5" with 90 speed, 91 spec catch, looks really good. Georgia back in the playoffs. Colorado's in the playoffs as well. And hey, welcome back to snowy Colorado for a playoff matchup as Pena's the starter this time for Colorado. Ohio State already up by 10. They scoop up a fumble, get the football at Colorado 7 and a touchdown to make it a 3-score lead with 5 minutes to play. Things are not looking good for Colorado. That pass is going to be caught, but it's 4th and 11. And the last dying effort of this Colorado team is going to be stopped. And with 3:30 to play, how about we add one more for good measure? He's running in for a touchdown, and Ohio State is going to dominate a fourth quarter against Colorado, 41-17 your final. So fortunate that Colorado didn't really get to do anything else, but Pena ends up with 62 yards and a touchdown, 1,000 yards and 15 scores overall in his first year as a starter. So a really big year for him. And we move on to Georgia, taking on Ohio State again. And this time, 10-point lead and a field goal try to start off the fourth quarter will be good. So a 13-point game. DeMarco Liggins looking for a little bit of redemption along with his Georgia Bulldogs. Buckeyes find an open man who gets by a defender. And look at him go all the way to the 38-yard line. They need to get in the end zone in the worst way with how good this Georgia offense is. It's not going to be enough to just try to come back with field goals. You don't got the time for it, and you don't got, I don't think, the defense for it, because Ohio State's defense, as good as they may be, Georgia's offense might just be that much better as Ohio State. Quick RPO. There you go. That's exactly what you need. A touchdown. 4:18 to play. You turn to the Georgia offense with a play action in the face of pressure. He throws an interception. Oh my goodness, Ohio State's got a chance to take the lead now, but Georgia's defense, if there's one thing that they've been having, it's been pass rush, and it's been a lead. But Georgia, their defense comes up big with an interception of their own, and taking it back for their offense to have another chance to right the wrong that they just did. Quarterback outside, there you go. Get a juke move to the tight end, and a 15-yard gain. 2:27 to play. Open outside. And Ohio State starting to burn timeouts. How about a handoff? Running back's got a first. One more will end it, and they can move on. That's going to be caught. Liggins. It's going to be close, but 3rd and inches. And to finish off the game, he breaks 2 tackles. He's going the other way, but he's not going to get a first down. But it will be a field goal that is good, meaning with just a minute to go, 2-score game, Ohio State desperation and an interception. And DeMarco Liggins and the Bulldogs win again. And they are really trying to cruise back to a national title. Liggins, 149 yards and 2 touchdowns for this incredible wideout who is now taking on Oklahoma. Batonio not going to be able to play. He's too buried on the depth chart. From the 16 with 9 minutes to play, looking for that 2-score lead. They got Rudolph. It's just been Liggins and Rudolph for 3 years, putting up great years. Play action, roll out, throw on the run, touchdown. 2-score lead for Georgia, and Oklahoma has not much that could really stop this Georgia team, motivated to go back to the national title. 4th down and 2, pop pass, blown up. Georgia, can they get the 3-score lead as they'll throw for a short completion that was Liggins 1 yard shy, but obviously you're smart to take the field goal here. Make it a 3-score lead, but 5 to go. Oklahoma, you need a lot to go your way if you want this one, and even though you get a nice completion there, you got to hurry up and you got to maybe take a shot. You got to get something, probably an onside kick at this point. But right now it's 4th and 13. Your game is on the line right here. Blitz set in, pressure's there, and even though they get the completion in a solid game, it's not going to be enough. And Georgia wins it 41-21. They had a field goal at the end. And back to a national title. Liggins, a quiet day it wasn't needed for him to have a big game, but we get a national championship rematch. Georgia, Penn State, one more time, and Penn State with a big run to start the fourth quarter. It's 20-17 Georgia, but Penn State, read option, walking in for a touchdown. 24-20 is your score, and you don't want to lose to the same team 2 years in a row. Can Liggins get redemption? This would be the ultimate form of it, but you're losing yards on third down. You're having to punt, and Penn State's got great field position already in Georgia territory. 3rd down and 1. Can the defense get off the field? No! Caught by number 1 for a first down and in field goal range. Now they're making it closer. It's definitely going to be a 7-point game as long as you hold on to the ball, but can they keep it that one-score game? As that pass knocked away, they will force 4th down, and the field goal try will be good. So 7 points, 4.5 to go, and you throw a screen outside, you lose 3. Now it's 3rd down as they will throw outside, intercepted. It was intended for Liggins, and Liggins has to bring him down, and it will be at the 1-yard line, but you tried to take it for your best receiver, and you're not going to have it go your way. Georgia now down by 14 with 3 minutes to go. Passes knocked away. 3rd down and 5. And Georgia is just the one team that they can't beat. Fumble, scooped up, and score. Penn State has done it again. It's 41-20, and one more interception for good measure. What is this Penn State defense as they win the national title back-to-back years? And I gotta be just sick if I'm DeMarco Liggins, having the career that he had, making 2 national championships, had another 97 yards in the national title game, had 1,800 yards and 16 touchdowns on the year as a whole, including a unbelievable 275-yard 3-touchdown game against Vanderbilt. But DeMarco Liggins is going to be a first-round draft pick, no surprise. Batonio transfers due to playing time. Yeah, DeMarco Liggins was awesome, so it's going to be sad to see him go. Kenya Boudreaux is going to be going to Clemson, and Batonio, we'll see where he goes. He didn't initially transfer anywhere, but I have found him. He went to Texas A&M, so, you know, I have noticed that the players, like, the ones that don't transfer anywhere and land somewhere are the players that aren't, like, the top-tier guys. If it's, like, a mid to low 80s or even lower than that, typically I will find them. It's only when like their high 80s or even like low 90s is when they don't transfer anywhere, and then I can't find them because I don't know, maybe are they like too good or something? I don't know. It's weird how that works sometimes, but yeah, Batonio went to Texas A&M. He has 600 yards as a starter, doesn't make a bowl game. Texas A&M had a pretty rough year, but he ends up starting. Colorado just barely misses out on the playoffs. They lost the conference championship, so because of that, they will be in a bowl game against Louisville. And right now, touchdown for Colorado to make it a 17-14 game against Louisville. So unfortunate for Colorado that one conference championship loss was the difference between them getting into the playoffs and not getting in. And they have to settle for some Pop-Tart Bowl action. So they have to sack and turnover for Louisville. They'll give the football back to Colorado. And a nice RPO there for a first down. 3rd down and 4. The situation now for this Colorado offense is they'll throw it right down the middle. And a juke move. And he's making the defender miss and getting all the way to the 12-yard line. Nice move. And very soon after, touchdown. Colorado has made the 10-point comeback and now has a lead here of 5.5 to go. Throw on the run caught for Louisville as Colorado defense sends the blitz. Pass is caught on the outside, but he couldn't stay in bounds, so he's not going to get the first. Louisville, no momentum on their side. Look at the truck there, just running through defenders. And now it's just all Colorado. Momentum firmly on their side, the ball in their hands. But they get sacked, so Louisville gives themselves one more try at it. No timeouts, but Colorado's defense with the pressure getting in. 2nd down and 17. Pass to the outside, intercepted. They jumped it, and he takes it. And that will be game for Colorado to win their bowl game. I know it's not the playoff appearance that they might have wanted, but still you take the bowl wins where you can get them. 90 yards on the day for Pena, and he's a 90 overall, so very likely that he could be on his way to the NFL, even though he had a bit less production this past year, 888 yards. And his NFL opportunity, I guess, comes calling in the 5th round of the draft. Boudreaux will transfer due to playing time, which, sure, why not? 5th round is where he goes. And for Boudreaux, same situation. He didn't initially commit somewhere, but I ended up finding him. But Marler, the next receiver, goes to TCU. Josh Bitonio looking really nice at Texas A&M, but I worry that he might not reach his full potential because he is really good, but not as good as he could be. Kenya Boudreaux goes to Kansas State, and Marler does at TCU have star development for an elusive route runner with really good skill caps. The only things that you're really knocking him for: power, IQ, but all the other stats that are really important, really good. And how about Hawaii? Back-to-back videos for Hawaii. Credit to him. 92 spec catch too at 6'5". That's impressive. Hawaii in back-to-back videos has found a player be #1 in the country. Marler doesn't get any playing time in his first season at TCU, and we go to Texas A&M. Bitonio taking on Marshall, 20-17 your score, as here is Bitonio, you squint a little bit and you take away the tattoos, he maybe looks a little bit like Mike Evans, if you remember how Mike Evans was doing things at Texas A&M. I feel like I see the comparison here, as he's big, he's not the fastest, but he's got all spec catch, all contested grabs, and he just stands out on the field as he's down at the 2-yard line. It's going to be a play fake and a touchdown. Pass was up in the air, and they had to climb the ladder for that one. Now we jump ahead to Marshall. They were down by 10. We're at a minute and a half to go. 4th down scramble does get them to a goal-to-go situation, but at a situation right now where you do need to get an onside kick, even though they score the touchdown, onside is going to be where it comes down to, and A&M does scoop it up. So that will be your game where A&M gets a bold victory, it looks like, but they're going to just do a little bit more for good measure. Bitonio for the 1st down completion, and just to make sure they can get every bit of clock ran out. And Bitonio, we didn't get to see much of A&M, but he did play well when we did see him. 7 catches, 80 yards, and a 700-yard season. So, even though he's the #1 receiver, he had no 100-yard performances, and I don't, again, think it's about him. I think it's more just the opportunity at A&M's not that good right now. Other bowl game, way less eventful for Kenya Boudreaux. 37-3 is the dominant final. Boudreaux didn't even do anything that was worth watching. 36 yards on 2 catches. He ends up with a solid 800 yards and 7 touchdowns as a freshman, which is pretty decent. 3 100-yard performances. So overall, you'll take that. Jeremy Rochelle is the next player from Hawaii who does go to Colorado again. So how about 2 on the board for Colorado? Josh Bitonio. Interesting that he's really upgrading his quickness out there, but he looks like he could be really good, and I'm just kind of disappointed that he didn't transfer. I think he really could have been a lot better if he ended up going somewhere that was more capable of utilizing him, which, typical Texas A&M, having a bunch of talent, not knowing how to do anything with them or not knowing how to use them. Sorry, Texas A&M fans. I want you guys to be good, but because you get so many players that I like in real life, but you end up misusing them every year. So Dante Sweet, the next receiver, is a bust, but for a bust, still looks pretty solid aside from the speed. He's from Georgia. We'll see where he goes. And playoff action, we see what the bracket looks like there. Paul Marler, 2 seasons, just a single catch in his TCU career. Jeremy Rochelle, no action for him as well. And we see Kansas State, Kenya Boudreaux in a bowl game. We'll also get the Texas A&M in their bowl game, as it's 7-5 K-State versus 10-2 Boise State. And it'll be play action, throwing down the middle. It's going to be caught, and that's going to be Boudreaux for a 1st down. How about looking for him again, maybe? No, it's going to be a sack. 4th down and 14 the situation. They'll try the long kick. 2 guys got in there, almost blocked it, and it's going to be good. But it will be 24-20 the score now, as K-State forces a 3 and out. And now back on the field goes the Wildcat offense, as they will lose yards. 3rd down and 13 the situation. He's going to load up, and it got hit as he was throwing. He was going to chuck that ball deep. Instead, another 3rd down for Boise State, and another 3 and out. They haven't been able to do anything in this 4th quarter. K-State with the screen, and they got blockers out in front. And there he goes for a gain of 25 to midfield. As now on the shotgun, they go play action. And he'll throw one down the field. Wide open, Boudreaux. Touchdown. Kenya Boudreaux takes the lead. And Boise, how about three and outs in a row? They can't do anything on offense. And Kansas State has been dominating this quarter, so we get to watch them a little bit more. And finally, Boise gets a stop, but look at this situation. Third down again, and they stop again. But now you're down to a minute. You got to go for it. Will it be a 4 and out? Throwing it deep. It's incomplete. Game over. Boise State went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 4 and out. Yeah, credit to the defense for that one, but also credit to Boudreaux, who put up 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. That gets him over 1,000 yards on the season, by far his biggest performance of the year, and a maybe potential NFL appearance for him if he wants to go for it. I've noticed that majority of the time, if you're a 90+, you'll go, but occasionally I've seen a 90 overall stay for another season. That was Batonia with a grab. Situation right now for A&M, 11-point deficit, but in the red zone. Third down and 11, the spot where they throw. Batonio got the catch, but he's an inch shy, and they kick the field goal. I think you really could have went for it. I understand getting the 1-score deficit, but 4th and inches. Now you turn it over to Maryland, who's got 5 minutes and an 8-point lead with the football. Third down and 4, the spot, though, and they will get it. And now more time will come off the clock, and A&M starting to use timeouts. Third down and 1. Now they're trying to get off the field, and he's reaching, and he's got the first down. A&M, you're running out of chances. Another first down, and now it's looking like it's going to be Maryland to put this game away. Sack backs him up. You need another sack probably if you're going to want to knock him out of field goal range, or you can get an interception, and a big mistake for Maryland. Is he going to take it all the way? 1 minute to beat, and the running back tracks him down. As now A&M's got one chance at it, as quarterback's going to run for it. He's got the first down and a lot more, sliding down for a gain of 20 at the 14-yard line, needing the touchdown and a 2-point conversion. He's getting sacked, loss of 5, back to the line. Third and 15, minute to go. Floating one, jump ball, Batonio, touchdown! And Batonio is going to give them an opportunity to tie it for the 2 and to maybe send it to overtime. It's a sack, and the onside kick is going to be missed by 1, scooped up by another, and A&M is going to lose the game. They can go back to that 4th down and inches. I get the field goal opportunity. It's hard to pass that one up, but I would have went for it there. Batonio, though, you give him a chance. He put the ball up in the air, got the touchdown for a potential tie. You just didn't get the 2-point conversion. He did have 1,000 yards. He did have a nice season. I would have just liked to see what his career would have been like if he went to a better situation and a better spot for him. He's still going to end up getting drafted in day 2, and also Boudreaux is going to go to the NFL and be a 6th-round draft pick, which I guess good on him. Batonio, yeah, 3rd round, and Boudreaux, oh, he sneaks into the 5th round, so I won't disrespect him too much, but a 5th-round pick. Jeremy Rochelle ends up transferring to nowhere. We'll try to look for him and see if we can find him. Dante Sweet goes to Michigan. Marler's been at TCU for a little while, just 1 career catch, but he's stuck around, and he's finally going to get an opportunity to play. Rochelle, we did find him. He goes to Boston College. So not only did he go to Boston College, he didn't really jump up at all, though. He ends up just sticking around at a pretty poor overall, but he will get to play at least. And Dante Sweet is going to be impact development here at Michigan. Not really going to get any playing time in year 1, I would imagine. So we move on to the season where we see Edward Hooks, our next receiver, another bust, but pretty decent skill set. It's just the speed that's not really, though, that good for him being a route artist, but move on to the playoffs. We're not going to see anybody there. Rochelle does get 700 yards. No bowl appearance for him, though. Boston College was really bad, and his best game came against an FCS team. No 100-yard performances. But we will see TCU in action, taking on Oklahoma. Even though Oklahoma's sitting there at 7-5, they are ranked. And we'll see if TCU, I guess, could rank-wise pull off an upset. But these two are pretty evenly matched at this point. As TCU's defense out there, 3rd down and 4, they do get the stop, get off the field, and give themselves the football with 5 minutes to play. As they were going to get a completion there, turn it over on a 3-and-out. Now it's Oklahoma's turn. They don't go 3-and-out. They get a first down. Right now, TCU, they may have the lead, but they have not been able to possess this football much at all in this fourth quarter. That's why it's moving so fast. There's nothing really to show you for TCU's offense. It's just been all Oklahoma with the ball, and one play gets them to the 12-yard line. Now jump ahead to the 4-yard line. Sack! Fumble! TCU jumps on it. They had 3 Oklahoma linemen there, and 1 TCU defensive lineman comes up with it. And now a deep shot. You did all of that and immediately throw an interception. You guys do not deserve to win this game. TCU has had like 2 plays to show you, and 1 was a 3-and-out and 1 was an interception. TCU's offense has done a whole bunch of nothing this game. They will end up forcing a field goal, though. At least their defense is saving them, and we're going to be going to an overtime game where TCU's offense is ice cold right now. And let's move to see what this offense can do this time around. They finally are going to get some yards forward, go forward, first down opportunity, and it's intercepted. And Oklahoma can win it with a field goal. They can win it if they just, I don't know, spike the football 3 times in a row and kick it, but they will get a couple yards, make it a closer field goal try, take the field goal opportunity, knock it through. That was one of the worst offensive performances that I have had to showcase because I literally got to show like 3 plays and 2 were interceptions. Marler did have 72 yards, but none of that was in the fourth quarter, basically. He ends up coming 6 yards shy of a 1,000-yard season. 11 touchdowns, though. Nice year overall. He waited his turn, and he's going to get another opportunity, I thought, because he was not good enough to go to the NFL. He's not going to the NFL. He's going to transfer. Rochelle's going to transfer again. I don't know what he's really expecting. And then Dante Sweet's going to transfer. So everyone's gone. Marler's going to go to SMU. I like that landing spot. Sweet's going to go to South Carolina. That seems like a solid spot as well. And Rochelle, we'll have to go and find him. He's his 2nd year in a row. He transfers to nowhere, and he's going to have to walk on somewhere. Edward Hooks goes to Auburn. Marler, though, I think at SMU could have a real breakout season. And Dante Sweet is going to get an opportunity to play significant time at South Carolina. And we did find Rochelle. He just keeps going down and down. He's at Akron now. Oh my goodness. He went from Colorado. He went from a playoff team to an okay team in Boston College, like a middle-of-the-pack Division I team, to a, like, bottom barrel team. The next step is going to the FCS. I mean, if he doesn't do something, I don't know what he's expecting. Markel Clowney, the next receiver. How about this? 94 spec catch with 92 speed. Markel Clowney, one of the best receivers we have found. And Jeremy Rochelle in the next season, he dislocated his ankle and only had 300 yards at Akron. Oh boy, we have our contender for the worst receiver of the video. Unless Rochelle has the biggest 180 in channel history, I guess. He might be the worst player that we're going to see. SMU made the playoffs, though. They're down 10. Penn State's been a thorn in our side to the teams in this video, so might be another team going down at the hands of Penn State. We'll see if SMU can pull off the comeback here. Deep ball thrown, and even though there were so many SMU players in the area, it's a Penn State player comes up with it. As they with a 10-point lead, how about trying to add on to it? But the Mustangs get the interception and a potential game saver if they can put points up on the board. As a broken tackle, one little play. I don't know why he's reaching. He's reaching for nothing. He already had the first down pretty easily, so 5:20 to go. But a huge game-saving interception, and then a couple of big plays find themselves in Penn State territory. Great blocking on the run. He's got another first down. And now 5 minutes to go. He's stepping up and throwing a strike. There you go. You'd love to get that touchdown first, as you got plenty of time either way. Loss of 2 on the play. Sets up 3rd and 13. And they'll throw for the end zone. 1-on-1 knockdown. So they will have to get the field goal first, meaning it will be a 7-point lead. But Penn State has got the football back, and they are going to find a wide-open receiver. And if he stayed on his feet, I think he was gone there. As now they throw the bubble, and immediately they're in field goal range right back. That's why you really wanted to get the touchdown first if you were SMU, just in case something like this happened. Now you're running out of time. You're running out of timeouts. SMU out, and the lead for Penn State is not going to be extended by 7, but it will be extended by 3 with the field goal. That's no good. Never mind. SMU caught a break, and now it's still a one-score game. That is crazy if SMU can put this game into overtime, and they're going to take a shot. Look at a laser thrown by that quarterback. He's got a cannon of an arm. That is now from the 32-yard line. Pass down the seam. That is perfect. That was a perfect ball. Goal to go. And when you get down this close, it's where things start to tighten up, in a sack. 60 seconds to play from the 16. He's going to run it inside the 10, sliding to the 8. He got half the yards he needed. 3rd and goal. He got 2 shots to the end zone. He'll take 1 short, and it's 2 yards shy. 4th and goal from the 2. He got 1 play to try to send this to overtime to win a playoff game. He's going to throw. He's not going to be able to get anywhere. He's sacked. The game is over. What Penn State in this dynasty? Just ruining everything. Marler at 143 yards. About a 1,600-yard season. Yeah, that's a big level up type of year to catapult him into being probably like a day 2 draft pick. As Jeremy Rochelle, he wants to transfer to the championship contender. I don't know who you think you are. Marler does go in the 3rd round. And oh boy, he didn't commit anywhere. Where is he gonna go? And then Markel Clowney, one of the best receivers we've seen this video, with one of the more shocking commits. Wyoming. Okay, maybe the best player they're gonna have since Josh Allen. Edward Hooks is going to be getting a little bit more opportunities potentially at Auburn. Rochelle does go to Air Force. Sure, I don't know what he's gonna do at Air Force. This dude is awful. It's crazy because his skill caps are pretty good. He just stinks. Markel Clowney, though, Wyoming with the stunner. Star development. He looks awesome. He's got pretty decent skill caps, but like for his size and his starting base stats and, you know, the athleticism that he has to pair with it, I think he could be really good. Next receiver being Kerry Major from Alabama. We'll see how he ends up faring as we go to a situation where Jeremy Rochelle, just 8 catches. Markel Clowney doesn't make a bowl game at Wyoming, does get 580 yards, though, and, I mean, an okay year. I mean, he's not Wyoming, though. And then we go to South Carolina, where they are taking on Notre Dame in a Liberty Bowl matchups, where Dante Sweet is, as he transferred from Michigan to South Carolina, finally getting an opportunity to play, and we'll see if he's able to show out and show that he is a good starting wide receiver for this squad, as Notre Dame 3rd down and 1 situation after getting the football back to get the 1st down. 3rd down and 2. How about going to the ground again, trying to get the 1st down, and he's got it. It was close, but now 3 3rd downs in a row, but not this time as he gets sacked. So finally not able to get it on 3rd down. South Carolina takes it over, and a 1st down completion. We are under 4 minutes to play, still in a tie game, as that pass is going to be caught for another 1st down. Move the chains midfield, maybe 10 yards away from field goal range, and that's more than enough. And he's getting all the way to the 9, as now we're goal to go. 3rd down, and he throws a pick. That was an awful decision. Right at not only one defender, even if that one defender wasn't there, there was another one right behind him who would have probably picked it as well. So, disastrous decision in Notre Dame as a 1st down right over a defender's head. Timeouts are being used by South Carolina, but you're in a spot now if you're Notre Dame where you can maybe kick a game-winning field goal. 45 seconds to go, no timeouts, and a field goal good. South Carolina not able to do anything with the football, though, as they lose the game. Still, though, even though a bowl loss and, you know, just 7 wins on the season, Dante Sweet ends up with a massive 1,400-yard season, 6 touchdowns, but a decent amount. There's what, 8 100-yard performances, a really productive year. Then we go on to our next bowl game, Auburn. Hooks just missed out. They were 15th in the country, so if they would have been 10-2 instead of 9-3, probably would be in the playoffs right now. Instead, they're taking on a 6-6 Ohio State team, so a down year for them, but they are winning right now 23-10. Auburn, though, moving the football very well as they go read option, and that's a 1st down and a touchdown for Auburn to pull them within 6 points as there's 6 minutes to play. 1st down run for Ohio State to get them to the 34-yard line with a 3rd and 8 situation. They're going to throw one up top, ball high up in the air. Neither able to come down with it. Auburn takes over, and it'll be a 3rd down and inches. Running back finds his way for the first, as now we go to 3 minutes to play. 3rd and 11. Middle, not able to hang on. Probably wouldn't have gotten the first down either unless he had a crazy effort. So Ohio State takes it back over, and now Auburn's going to have to start using timeouts. They're out of timeouts. Quick pass to the outside. He's reaching, but he's so close and not going to get it. And a Auburn possession now taking over, where they can go and take the lead with a touchdown. And the extra point, obviously, would be just enough, and they are in position to do just that as they're in the red zone now with a 1st down. Under a minute to play. He's going to step up and throw on the run. It's caught in the end zone. And the extra point being good's going to set up Ohio State with a 1-point deficit, throwing it deep, and 2 guys there, incomplete. 4th and 11. Last chance for Ohio State if they're going to want to come out with the bowl victory, and they're short. So a win for Auburn. They avoided a bit of an upset here because a 6-6 Ohio State team should have no business winning that game. But Edward Hooks had an opportunity to start 950 yards, only 1 catch in the bowl game, though. He had a chance to go over 1,000 in that bowl game, just didn't have a good enough performance. And instead, we're going to go to the offseason where Markel Clowney, very deservedly so, is leaving. He should have never went to Wyoming. Instead, he goes to Wisconsin. Kerry Major goes to Alabama. Do find it curious, though. So a guy like Clowney wanted to maybe get playing time in year 1, knew he wouldn't get that at a school like Wisconsin, so he goes and has like a 500-yard season, which is not great, but he gets playing time, and then he immediately transfers to a school where he's going to be able to get some playing time. Now, I don't know, maybe he should have just committed from Wisconsin or one of these other schools from the beginning, but you know, I guess I can at least see the thought process a little bit, but he's going to get to play at Wisconsin now, and we'll see how he does. Major looks pretty nice, could be pretty good. Eric Jennings, route artist, looks pretty well-rounded, well-balanced, and we'll see where he ends up. And Wisconsin is in the playoffs, as is South Carolina, so we get some playoff action. Major actually does get 5 catches as a true freshman, and then Auburn in their bowl game. We had Hooks in his 2nd bowl game in a row. They get destroyed by UNC 44-10, and Hooks, 2 bowl games for him. Not a lot of production there. But he ends up with another season. It's the same situation. Had about 900 yards. Could have went over 1,000 with the bowl game. Didn't. They lose the bowl game. And, well, you know, it is what it is for Hooks. So 2 seasons back-to-back with about 950 yards. Let's move on to playoff action. South Carolina versus a 13-0 Troy team. Dante Sweet had a massive year last year. 1,400 yards on over 100 grabs. And now he's helped this South Carolina team get into the playoffs. 28-28 your score as Troy's going to take off with the run. 6:30 to go, and they are going to slide down 36-yard line. Now set up a 3rd down and 5. From the 41, they tried to run it, and they're not going to get there. Move it over to South Carolina. Dante Sweet in the offense. That's a wide open man. At 3rd and 6, you had a wide open player. That wasn't just a 1st down. That was probably going to be a touchdown, and he missed it. Now Troy, can they pull this one off? I know they're undefeated, but this would be an upset to beat an SEC school on the road in the playoffs. And he tried to do too much. He broke out of the sack, extended the play, but threw a pick. You just did too much on that one, and now South Carolina takes over, and they're running right up the middle for a big gain. Now from the 20, 2-minute warning will hit with this play, and they are in the red zone. 3rd down and 3. Troy gonna have to start using their timeouts, and they're not gonna get the 1st down, and they'll have to settle for the field goal, so Troy will have a chance, but it will be with just over a minute to go and 2 timeouts for a 14-0 year, and moving on to the 2nd round opportunity for the Trojans as they will throw outside, and in between 2 defenders, he brings it in, as now they're in about field goal range potentially, but they're going to take the shot deep. They want it all, and it's intercepted. You tried to take it all. This quarterback 2 times, 2 interceptions, just tried to do a little too much on the play. Now let's have another opportunity and upset. Look at that, Central Michigan taking on Wisconsin. I feel like this video, there's been more smaller schools seeing opportunities. We had Toledo, we had Central Michigan. Troy's been in the playoffs multiple times. We've had some teams get some chances here. None have been able to do it, but Central Michigan maybe has among the best chances that we've seen. 13-10, and a completion on 4th down for Wisconsin. And Wisconsin trying to avoid the upset, avoid to see one of these teams from like the MAC get a huge victory, as they will end up getting stopped on 3rd down, but they will get the field goal. 4 minutes to play for Central Michigan as they go underneath for a 1st down. He doesn't go down on first contact, as now Central Michigan to the 36-yard line. 3rd down and 12. It's the situation as he goes outside. Completed. And now right on the verge of field goal range. A Wisconsin tackle for loss, and they punt. They can't hit a 56-yarder, and then Wisconsin will turn the football over a 3-and-out. Now 3rd down situation for Central Michigan. They get stopped. We go to overtime. These teams trading 3-and-outs. Eventually they ran out of time. Now it's overtime situation here. 3rd and 7. Throw it over the middle. It's caught. And inside the 10. Goal to go. And they will keep it on the ground with the quarterback wide open lane. Touchdown, Wisconsin. We turn the reins over to Central Michigan, who's not backing down. They get 19, and it's 1st and goal from the 6. They're going to step up. He can run for it, and our quarterback trading rushing touchdowns, and we're on to overtime number 2 as they throw that. That's a backwards pass, and they're going to actually lose 3. 3rd down and 8. And they will get sacked. And they'll back them up for a field goal from about 47. Kick is good. And now Wisconsin in overtime. Field goal ascended to a 3rd overtime and a shootout. And a loss on a massive risky play. And now 3rd down and long. He gets sacked. It's a 58-yarder from here. They're not kicking a field goal. They're going for it on 4th and 26. And he's got it to the 1-yard line. Are you kidding me? And Wisconsin wins it on a 1-yard touchdown. But that is going to be as heartbreaking of a loss for Central Michigan as it gets. You had them backed up. They called an end around. Blown up in the backfield. You sacked them. You somehow knocked them out of field goal range in overtime, and then they convert a 4th and 26. Meanwhile, for South Carolina, it doesn't go as well in round 2. 40-10 dominated in the 2nd round. Dante Sweet gets 53 yards on the day, and he ends up with another nice season, 1,200 yards. 5 touchdowns, though. The touchdowns haven't been really coming in for Sweet that much, but still a really productive season as a whole. And we jump over to Wisconsin, who's taking on Miami. And Miami, the first play of the 4th quarter is a touchdown run. In the red zone they go for a score. And a 35-23 deficit is the situation for Wisconsin. Can they make a comeback here? This ain't Central Michigan. No disrespect to them. This is a lot tougher as that pass incomplete. 4th and 13. They're punting. Miami's got great field position as they will throw an interception. And suddenly it is turned around for the Badgers. Now they got good field position, and, well, Miami's pressure is going to set them down. That's the first sack for Miami of the game, but the sacks are coming in at the right time. Number 2 in a row, 3rd and 24, and even though you're going to get a decent amount of yards, it's going to set a 4th and 7. They're not going to go for it, but I guess that helps them out in a field position battle. You're going to allow a 1st down on 3rd down for Miami to now be at the 32-yard line. Another 3rd down situation, and it is incomplete. So you get the punt, 5 minutes to go from the 30, screen outside. Decent blocking, and the cut to the outside is going to spring him for a gain of 21. Now you get to enemy territory, 3rd and 4 the situation. Outside, incomplete. As now 4th and 4, and they'll throw it. Deep ball, just like they did against Central Michigan. Same thing, touchdown. And now they are back within 1 score. Miami, 4 minutes to go, and Wisconsin's got time, and they got their timeouts. 3rd and inches. Can they get off the field here? Not quite. And Miami moves the chains. 3 minutes to go. RPO for the tight end, and he's got a 1st down and more. Past the 35 into the 33. We are now in the spot where they need to start using timeouts. 3rd and inches, and he's got a 1st. 1 more 1st down will end it. It looks like it. I think that might do it. He's got the 1st, and he's got the game. 162 yards on the ground for Miami's running back, and that's going to ultimately be the deciding factor. Miami wins it, but nice to see some guys get into the playoffs. Markel Clowney, 100 yards and a touchdown on the day. Really nice because it gets him over 1,000 yards. And how about 15 touchdowns? and 4 100-yard performances, including the Miami game. He had his best performances against Miami, Iowa, and Oregon. That's pretty nice. You rise up against top teams and top defenses. Dante Sweet back for another season. Nice to see that. A 4-year player and a 4-year contributor, not someone who sat the bench his first year. Edward Hooks back at Auburn. Markel Clowney jumping up a little bit more. Looks like Clowney could be a 4-year player too. He's gone up and maxed out his quickness, because why not? I mean, as if he needs to be a fast player with the amount of contested catches that he can make and a red zone threat that he is. Eric Jennings is an elite development player at the University of Washington. So we'll see how he factors into things. He won't be playing early on in his career, but Teron Tant, the next player. How about the fastest guy we'll find all day? 96 speed and 90 spec catch as well. We got Wisconsin in the playoffs this time. No South Carolina. Bowl action a little bit here. Alabama, I mean, this one, nothing really happened anyway, but Majors is kind of on the fringe of playing time. He's kind of their number 4, but he got a lot of playing time, kind of, I guess. 500 yards, pretty decent. Edward Hooks ends up partially tearing his PCL in his final season, and he has a really bad year, 400 yards on the season. So it's not even like he had, good yards per game. He just didn't play well this year, and he'll still be going to the NFL, but that's probably going to hurt his draft stock a decent bit. South Carolina, even though they're not making the playoffs this year, still 17th in the country, taking on Nebraska. And we will see if Dante Sweet can end off his career with another 1,000-yard season and another bowl victory as they take the interception the other way. 12-7 your score, as South Carolina looking for win number 10, and they will not get anywhere on the run game. 3 and out, 2 minutes to go, but they got to go for it on 4th down, and it will not be a 4 and out. They convert, minute 30 to play, as he got hit as he was throwing, incomplete. How about another 4th down situation? With a minute 26, pass is caught, he's breaking a tackle, he's fighting, but not enough. That was close, and the effort was there, just not able to get the first down. And Nebraska, they get 4th and inches. They could have went for it to try to seal the game, but they end up punting. Now South Carolina's got one more try at it with 49 seconds to play. 3rd and 1 situation. Underneath, check down to the running backs, got the first. They're going to run up and spike the football. Now we're down to 22 seconds. 3rd down and 6. He's sacked. And they got to hurry it back. 11 seconds, 4th down. Pass is caught short of the line. And it's a bowl loss for Dante Sweet, as that will be how his career ends. And even though he's going to go down as one of the more productive wide receivers, not a whole lot of touchdowns on his resume. It's impressive. 6, 5, and 2, despite having all those yards. That is an impressively low amount of touchdowns. That's some Julio Jones stuff right there. I don't know who his quarterback was, who was the worst red zone quarterback ever, I guess, but that's unfortunate for him to have that many yards and that little touchdowns. Let's go to the playoffs, though, where here's Markel Clowney. Look at him breaking a tackle. Clowney with another broken tackle, and he fights in for the touchdown. Markel Clowney. He's got the speed, he's got the size, he's got the power. He might be one of the most complete receivers that we have had in this video. 23-13's your score, as Wisconsin looking for a playoff victory in back-to-back years, as Oklahoma State, 4th down and 1, going for it. Handoff, he's got the first down. And the defense now just needing to not let a disaster happen, or Wisconsin, I think, can pull this one off. But a big play, broken tackle, one man to beat, he's down to a 10-yard line, basically goal to go. Now from the 11, slant over the middle is going to get them down to the 3. 3rd and goal, 5 minutes to go. Pressure set in the face of pressure, it's going to be just dropped at the last moment. He couldn't reel it in. They kicked the field goal. And it is still a 7-point game. I can't blame them for hitting that field goal, but you could have went for it if you really wanted to get that touchdown off the board first. But the defense does their job. Clowney gets a short catch, but nowhere near the first down. And now Oklahoma State, great field position in a 1-touchdown game. We're down to a minute and a half, 3rd and 11. The spot here is, that's incomplete into traffic. 3rd down turns to 4th down, and the last chance is going to be incomplete. Oklahoma State could still technically get the football back, but not now after one run. 1st down, game over, And Wisconsin has another playoff victory in another season. Markel Clowney, massive day for him. 162 yards and 2 touchdowns, including that awesome touchdown catch he had to start the fourth quarter. We move on to the second round. It's 13-13 USC, Wisconsin. Massive matchup to go to the semifinals as hit as he's throwing. It's going to be incomplete. And USC takes over with the football at 7.5 to go and a sack for the Wisconsin defense. Third down and 17, bubble screen outside, and they are going to get a nice gain, but not close to the first down. Good field position for Wisconsin's offense as the run game's going to get a first down and more, and past the 40-yard line of the 39. In enemy territory they go with a play action, and sack might have taken him out of field goal range. Now they need to get a couple of yards to at least get back in there, and the pressure comes in, but he gets the throw off just in time to get just enough yards for a 52-yarder. Kick on the way, and it is good. So a huge third down play to get a couple of yards to get just enough. But now USC is going to get a crossing route for a solid gain. Now already at midfield. Pass is going to be caught into enemy territory in a first down. Already in position to maybe tie this game up. Now they're definitely in field goal range, and he's getting ahead for the first. From the 33 and 2:20 to go, it's going to be a sweep outside, and now you might have maybe been able to knock him out of field goal range. It's 55 from here. Pass is knocked away at the line. It's not going to be an easy kick. 55 yards for the tie. It's good still. It's time to go on a game-winning drive. I would like to see Markel Clowney get the football here, and he does. Clowney for the first down. Minute 27 to play. Clean pocket. Needs to take the time, and he's taking the shot deep. He wants Clowney. It's intercepted. He threw it up in double coverage. Clowney makes the tackle. I wanted Clowney to get the football, but maybe he throwing it up in double coverage in that situation. Not the best idea. Luckily, they'll get the 3 and out, and when they take the football back, they just take it to overtime. 16-16 in another overtime matchup. Pass on the outside as USC gets it first. They'll set up a 3rd down and 6 as they'll throw. In the face of pressure, he's got the completion. Goal to go. And now from the 8, he'll throw. He's looking, he's rolling. He's getting sacked in a fumble, but USC is able to keep it. And they will still salvage a field goal try that is good. So close for Wisconsin. But they can win it with a touchdown here. And they're immediately going to start with a nice run. And they get over half the yards they need. Now get him to 3rd and 7 from the 8. He's going to roll. He's going to step up and throw. Touchdown! Wisconsin wins it! Game winner for Wisconsin in overtime. And they are moving on to the next round. A massive clutch moment as Markel Clowney gets another 100 yards and a touchdown. And oh boy, look who's back. It's Penn State. 23-16 is the score. I don't know what Penn State is on in this dynasty. I don't know what has happened to them, but they have just transformed into the biggest powerhouse in the entire world. They have transformed into New Alabama or something, because they are out here winning titles left and right and dominating teams on their way there. But luckily right now, Wisconsin's winning this game 23-16 with 5 minutes to play. 3rd down and 3 is the spot for Wisconsin. Pressure in and a sack. And we'll have to go to Penn State's offense, who's going to get sacked on their own. But it's 3rd down and 8 with 4 minutes to play. From their own 22, that pass short. They're probably going to have to punt the football. They will. Wisconsin, they could actually win. I don't know if anyone's beaten Penn State in this video. As Clowney with the grab. 1st down. Is it going to be Markel Clowney the one to finally do it as they get a sack? And we're down to 3 minutes. Penn State's using timeouts. Screen to the outside. 2nd and 17. That's a nice gain. He spins away. 1st down. What a play. And Penn State out of timeouts. One more 1st down is big. There it is. I think they're going to do it as they run it down to about 30 seconds. Kick a field goal and a 2-score lead. Someone beat Penn State. It never happens, but this time it did. Penn State goes down. Markel Clowney with another 100-yard day and another touchdown. We're on to a national title. It's not like we have a lot of receivers left. This might be even the last chance one of these guys has to win a national title, or we might go without a single one. And right now it's 32-27. Ole Miss with the football, and they're in scoring range, and a sack from the Wisconsin defense. gotta at least hold them to a field goal. You can't let them in the end zone, but you get an interception. That's probably the best possible outcome you could have gotten on that drive, and you take it to the 43. Now let's move on to Wisconsin's possession. Clowney's had 100-yard games left and right, and can he get one more to help them get the national title? And that's gonna be a stop, 3 and out, but at least you help yourself out in the field position battle, as a sack's gonna set them back. 3rd and 16 over the middle, caught in a first. And that could be that game-changing type of play, as now Ole Miss with the football in a better field position to where they're not backed up at the shadow of their own goal line. Another 3rd down situation, though, and this time the sack comes in, and we go to Wisconsin football end around, and he's actually going to get a really nice play. My goodness, he broke away from 4 different defenders, and now at the 42-yard line, and a pressure sack. And the end around's going to end up being all for nothing. And speaking of all for nothing, what a useless pun. That was like a 15-yard punt. That was awful. And now Ole Miss has got a real good opportunity to put this game away. Another 1st down might do it, as he's running ahead. 1st down and more, and we're running out of time. Last one will do it, but it's going to be incomplete. So if they would have gotten that 1st down, it would have ended it, but instead they'll kick a field goal. It is still a 1-score game, though. 35 to 27, 8-point game with 1:14 to play. Pass on the outside is going to be caught. We'll set up 3rd down and 5. 60 seconds to play. Last opportunity for a big shot down the middle, and he's got it. Timeout had to be used for an injury. Wisconsin's taken another sack. The pressure of this Ole Miss defense has been crazy. Walter Nolan ain't even here. What in the world is this pass rush? That pass, oh my goodness, Clowney! How did he bring it in? Clowney 1st down, 30 seconds to play. Oh, another sack. 23 seconds. 3rd and 16. He got hit as he was throwing. He tried to throw a deep ball. 4th and 16. Game on the line. Sacked again. Oh my goodness. Who in the world is on that defensive line at Ole Miss? That's going to be a national championship victory for them. Clowney, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 1,500 yards, 18 scores, and had an incredible just stretch to end the season. Edward Hooks goes to the NFL. He's going to be 4th-round pick. Dante Sweet is in the 5th round. Yeah, Hooks goes in the 4th round, Sweet in the 5th round. And we move to Toronto, going to Nebraska. And we will move on to see Markel Clowney looking to be spectacular going into his final season. He looks amazing. One of the best receivers we've had. Kerry Major. Crazily enough, still not like an out-and-out starter at Alabama, even though he's like an 89 overall. Eric Jennings finally going to be able to get some playing time for Washington. And Toronto is a star development, and he's going to be a day 1 starter at Nebraska. So we will get to see what he has to offer that team. Isaiah Money, next receiver. Nice route running, decent abilities to him. It's been pretty straightforward with some of these guys that we've seen. Eric Jennings does not make a bowl game, 805 yards. A pretty okay season for him as his first year as a starter. And then Kerry Major, 31 catches for 400 yards. 1 touchdown, though. So, I mean, he's still, like, a high overall, just not a starter. He's at Alabama, and they're just stacked right now. It's crazy. But Nebraska here in a bowl game. 31-15 the score. Toronto is the fastest freshman receiver that we have found today. And we will see if he can bring that speed to this Nebraska offense to turn him into a game-changing aerial attack as SMU throwing the football deep on 4th and 14. That pass is going to be incomplete. Unfortunately, just not a lot of action to show off in this game, as Nebraska will just tack on a field goal later on. It'll be a 3-score game, and it'll be game over. 34-15. Nebraska comfortably takes care of business, but Toronto ends up with 114 yards and a true freshman year of 1,100 yards. Just 3 touchdowns, but how about 5 100-yard performances? Even 6 if he had 1 more yard against Purdue, but really nice freshman season from him. And we move on to a Wisconsin-USC rematch in the playoffs as Wisconsin and Clowney looking to get back to a national championship. As Markel Clowney, he came back for another season, and he wants to finish his business in the national title, but he might lose in the first round, intercepted in the end zone. And USC takes it over. Broken tackle, break two, fighting forward. That is inexcusable that he got that first down if you're Wisconsin's defense. As they'll step up and run the football. 5 minutes to play and clock is ticking down to now 3.5 on a 3rd down and 6. Chance to get off the field. And as he's throwing, and it's incomplete. Definitely disrupted the pass as now Wisconsin takes over. Pass to the outside is intercepted. Pick 6. And USC is taking a 2-score lead with 3 to play. And Markel Clowney is not going to be able to do anything about it. His quarterback with another interception. I think that pass was intended for him, but it was a terrible pass, so I don't know. As USC goal to go from the 2 to make it a 3-score lead. And the career of Markel Clowney ends on a pretty rough note, 31-13. That's just unfortunate. And, you know, he had another great game, 148 yards. I mean, how about a playoff performer unlike anybody else? 1,500 yards on 20 less catches and had an extra touchdown to add on to his season. And look at the games. Like, his big games were big games. Kerry Major's going to transfer due to playing time. Understandable. Markel Clowney's going to go in the first round. Understandable. Now, Kerry Major doesn't end up committing anywhere, and this is what I talked about a little bit earlier in the video, where the players that are like higher overall, like Kerry Major was an 89 overall, the players in the portal that are like high overalls, they don't go anywhere. If they don't commit somewhere, they don't end up walking on to another spot. Like, they just don't go anywhere. And, you know, I'm not going to do the whole thing where I show you me looking for like half an hour for these players or looking for however long. He's just not here. He's just gone. And it's hard to miss a guy who's an 89 overall and who's going to obviously be getting a little bit better probably. He's probably going to be a 90 plus overall. He's just gone. I don't know where he went. And, I mean, he only had like one real season left in him, and I don't know what he would have done. So, you know, not to discredit him, but it is what it is. Torontan, speaking of it is what it is, and that's disappointing. How about a spectacular year from Torontan, on pace to have one of the best years of the video, and literally in the final game of the season against USC, he breaks his wrist and is out, and even though Nebraska made the playoffs, he's not going to be able to play. He had 1,500 yards, and I mean, the yards per game would have been even higher if it wasn't for the fact that the USC game was counted against him. He only had one catch, but he got hurt on the one catch, so I mean, the dude had like over 120 yards really a game. That would have been among the best seasons we had. I think the best season we've had so far, I think, is like 1,900 yards. Maybe he would have gotten up there if they made a run to the national title, but we'll go ahead to Washington here. Eric Jennings is in his bowl game. We finally get to see him have a little bit of action, and they're taking on Fresno State. Fresno down by 14. And they're in enemy territory looking to try to claw back within 1 score as a broken tackle is going to get them a first down to the 34-yard line, dropping back with 6 to go. Outside, caught, broken tackle again, and he's going to fight just enough for another first down. Now we jump to 3rd and 14, and underneath again, and not going to be able to break an infinite amount of tackles. Eventually, they're going to bring you down. 4th down and 6. Game on the line probably, and that quarterback just could not handle an ounce of pressure. Game is over. Washington with 2-score lead takes the football over, maintains their 2-score lead, and ends up winning. Even though Eric Jennings did have a 100-yard game and a touchdown, and a really nice season. I mean, we basically didn't get to see Eric Jennings do much of anything, but he ends up being a 93 overall, and, you know, some players like that just exist where it's like they don't make bowl games, or they make one bowl game, but they don't do much, and then they're in and out of the college football world as fast as they got here, and is a 3rd-round pick. George Pasco is the next receiver. We have him being at Florida. Tant back for another season where he could maybe have a career, if he stays all 4 years, where he could be 4 years, 1,000-yard seasons. Not something we've had before. Isaiah Money also, how about being like an 86 overall, but being like so buried on the depth chart? He might be another guy who could transfer due to just playing time, like major, but maybe he actually lands somewhere. You see Pasco. We got Al McClendon, second to last wide receiver. Well, we are going to get to 25 in this video, even though Hatchet and Culver ended up not committing somewhere and we had to cut them out. We're going to get to 25. Isaiah Money, only 21 catches on the season for him at Clemson. 7 touchdowns, though. Impressive. And we move on to Nebraska, where we will get to see Teron Tant in the playoffs, as it's 11-1 Nebraska at home here in the first round, taking on Missouri. And Missouri on 4th down, going to try a field goal. Long kick. Kick is no good. And Nebraska will maintain a lead here as we move to the 40-yard line. And they'll sweep it outside. Losing yards. 2nd down and 11. Turns to 3rd and 11 now, as he's going to get pressured. Sack, fumble. And even though Nebraska holds on to the football, it only saves them a little bit of field position as they will punt it. And, you know, Missouri doesn't waste a whole lot of time getting in Nebraska territory pretty quickly, as they'll throw on 3rd down and 1. Pass is broken up. 4th down and 1. Key situation. And they go for it, and they get it. The options were punt from a short field, 60-yard field goal, or go for it. Yeah, I think going for it was the move, and it worked out. But now you need a little bit more yards here on 3rd down to maybe get into field goal range. That's exactly what they needed, probably. They missed the field goal long earlier, but now from 54, can they hit it this time around for the lead? Kick is good, and Nebraska down by 2, 4:30 to play. And the play action rollout's going to get them a short gain, 3rd down and 4. As they will throw a deep pass. Does he got him open? It's Teron Tant. Yes, he is. Touchdown. Deep beat. 2 guys up top. He had the speed to burn the defense for the lead, and that's what you're getting with the fastest receiver of the video. And he showed that speed on display. Nebraska with the football back after a stop. And look at Teron Tant now making a diving grab. He's doing it all right now. And Nebraska, big play on the bubble screen. And they could go and put themselves up by 8. 3rd down and 9 as they go to 10. And it's going to be caught, but well short of the marker. So it will be that 8-point lead with the field goal. Kick is good. 2-minute warning will hit. And Missouri's got one final chance to try to take this thing into overtime. They got no timeouts, but they have 2 minutes and a sack, as you lose a lot of time there. 1:20 to play. You get the sack yards back. You get some extra yards on top of it. 3rd and 5, and the pressure in play action was unnecessary there. 4th and 11, game on the line, under a minute to go, and Nebraska to move on, passes deep, passes over the head of everybody. Game over for Nebraska to move on, and Teron Tant ends up being a bit of the hero with the deep ball touchdown from about 70 yards out, and he has a 100-yard day. Now a tough matchup against Oklahoma State, and the first play we watch is a Nebraska throw to pick to them. No, Oklahoma State's already 13-0. They're already up by 11, and they're in scoring position. This is not looking good for Nebraska as they get the screen. He gets the blocking. He's got the touchdown, and a 3-score lead now as Nebraska, I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to survive in this one, as they need to put the ball in the end zone pretty soon. But a fumble now, and it's recovered by Oklahoma State. Maybe not the exciting end that we wanted to this one, but a pretty dominant 4th quarter. They end up winning 35-17. They don't really let anything else happen with that offense. Teron Tant ends up with just 31 yards on the day, but he ends up with just as good of a season overall. Another 1,500 yards, another 14 touchdowns, and another, 800-yard performances. Unfortunately, he's going to go to the NFL, and he's only going to be a 4th-round pick. That stinks. I mean, I guess you could say he was hurt and he was a little undersized and whatever else you want to say for him, but I think if he would have stayed for another year, that would have been incredible, but not to happen. Unfortunate. George Pasco is, getting a little bit better. Money's finally going to be able to play. And the surprise here, how about Al McClendon is going to be going to Army, and he also stinks. Maybe he doesn't. I mean, he has normal development. The only person in the video with normal development, so maybe he will be good, but the last receiver is a gem. Us being at that final receiver, though, means we're at the home stretch. Clemson and Money makes the playoffs. They get a first-round bye. George Pasco ends up having 700 yards and 5 touchdowns at Florida, and we jump into Money's game where Clemson's taking on Texas A&M, and that's going to be a first down grab. Now we're in the red zone already, where it's a 6-point deficit. Touchdown will give them the lead as they'll throw on 3rd down and 8, and rolling, floating, end zone, over the head of everybody, incomplete. Pass was really high up there. Instead, they'll take the field goal. Kick is good. And it'll be 20-17 the score now, as that pass underneath 4th and inches. It'll be a 3 and out. They punt it. Clemson takes over, and look at the D tackle just driving him into the ground to set up 3rd and 14. They're going to take a shot. Dave, and 1-on-1. Incomplete. And Texas A&M takes over. RPO, if he would have stayed in bounds there, he would have been off to the races. Instead, it'll be 3rd down and 3, where that pass is going to be knocked away. And Clemson takes over with another chance on offense. That pass caught for a gain of 7. We set up 3rd down and 2 on the ground. First down and a little bit extra. 4 minutes to play. 45-yard line. Blitz sent in. They get the pass outside. He reaches, and he's got the first down. As now from the 45-yard line, play action. He's going to throw over the middle, caught on the crosser, and he's got a gain of almost 30 on the play in the red zone. Play action, short pickup, and now set up at the 11-yard line. Blitz sent in from A&M, running back on the swing, not able to keep his feet in. He had an opportunity to go one-on-one with a defender and make a miss. Instead, he goes out of bounds. They settle for a field goal. We're at a tie game here. 2 minutes to go, and A&M, look at the read option. The quarterback just fast enough to get to the edge. As now a 1:40 to play. They're going to step up, throw one over the middle. It's caught, and they stop him at the 49. A&M closing in on field goal range. Now they're definitely going to be in. It's about 50 plus, but they're getting even more yards. 3rd down and 5. Another first down, and this game could be over. Clemson out of timeouts. They are even closer inside the red zone. Time winding down. A&M is going to just end up going with the touchdown. I mean, I guess for Clemson, you'd rather do that than just let them kick the field goal. You give yourself 20 seconds, as that pass is going to be caught, and you get 25 seconds, though. You need to go far. You're not going to. Game over, and Clemson goes down 27-20. And Money on the game ends up with a solid performance, though. 8 catches, 90 yards, and the season as a whole, pretty nice. 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. So overall, it's looking like maybe he could stay for another season. He's a 91 overall. Al McClendon is going to transfer due to playing time. Man, I don't know why you committed to Army in the first place, and then he didn't even play. Final receiver goes to Oklahoma. Money stays, but he doesn't go up really much. He's just still going to be about as good as he was last year. Pasco, not able to really do much right now at Florida because Florida kind of stinks. And then Al McClendon is going to go to Old Dominion. He didn't end up committing somewhere, and then I had to go and look for him. He goes to Old Dominion. And then the final receiver, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Elite Development. He actually does look really good, though, and we'll see if he gets an opportunity at Oklahoma, being buried on the depth chart the way that he is. Clemson's back in the playoffs, 13-0, number 1 seed. Pasco ends up with another 800-ish yards, 4 touchdowns. Okay year, but Florida stinks right now. Like, Florida's actually bad. Al McClendon, interesting season, 700-plus yards and 11 touchdowns on just 38 catches, like crazy efficient. He was just torching bad defenses. Maybe he'll end up transferring up or whatever, but we're in a game right now. Clemson up by 10 with the football at the 34-yard line. He's gonna load up and toss a deep pass to the end zone, and it's caught for the score. A 3-score lead for Clemson now over TCU with 8.5 to go. And for TCU, it's going to take a lot. If they're going to want to have a chance if they throw an interception. Yeah, this one, I don't think it's going to go the way of the Horned Frogs, as the screen out is not going to get the first, but still, they'll take a field goal. It's going to be a 20-point game in the fourth quarter, and TCU with one last drive to maybe pull themselves in contention to win this game. Another interception, game over, and Clemson takes home the victory, meaning we are on to one more semifinals appearance. Money does get banged up in that game. He's fine, though. He's going to be able to play in the semifinals. They take on Ole Miss. And, I mean, I said with Clowney, it might have been the last chance for somebody to win a national championship. Well, this might be the last chance. 14-0, number one in the country, and in the semifinals, taking on Ole Miss, who's been consistently great all throughout this dynasty. And they're down right now, 24-19, and they're at 4th and 4. They punt the football away. As Ole Miss takes over, they throw underneath, and he's got the first down, converting on third down. How about another third down situation, though? 5 yards out, and they take the shot deep, and it's incomplete, so Clemson takes over. They're set up with just over 3 minutes to play. Quick pass to the outside, caught, first down. Now we're really taking time here. They're just over 2 minutes to go. That pass incomplete. Third down and 8. As they will pump and throw. He got hit as he was throwing, disrupted the pass, and now it's 4th down and 8. They're going to throw deep middle. It's brought in, and that was Money bringing it in for the clutch grab to keep their season alive. And now over the middle, the other receiver has got a big 25-yarder into the red zone. 60 seconds, blitz sent in. Money with the grab, fighting ahead, falling forward, first down from the 5-yard line. Run is stopped at the 3. And now 53 seconds to go. Underneath, it's caught. Money down to the 1-yard line. It's third down and goal for the game. Potentially touchdown, Clemson. And they have a 1-point lead with just over 30 seconds to play. 2-point conversion for the field goal lead. Pass is going to be intercepted. Got to bring them down. They do. So it will just be a 1-point lead, but it's just 30 seconds to play. And Ole Miss surprises with a run. And Ole Miss, okay, first down. They got all their timeouts, and they surprise with another run. And this one's also going to work. How about 20 yards? And now they're just maybe 1 play away. And they get it over the middle. Are you kidding me? Hurry it back to the line. There is no way. The run, surprising Clemson, is going to get the job done. It'll be a 50-yard field goal try. Kick is good. And Clemson, I mean, I guess you really needed that 2-point conversion. Game over. That is so brutal. We're actually going to go through this whole video without anybody winning a national championship. That's crazy. Money ends up having a couple clutch plays at the end there. 79 yards as a whole. Ends up with a really good season. 100 catches on the dot, 20 touchdowns, 1,500 yards. I mean, he was awesome. Doesn't end up making the national title, though. And the Oklahoma receiver, he's going to transfer due to playing time. Money goes in the 2nd round, so one of the higher draft picks that we've had. Pasco literally is still just not leaving Florida, even though they stink. Like, Florida's literally been awful. And, you know, speaking of awful, Al McClendon being here at Old Dominion doesn't really seem all that necessary. And you know, the receiver transfers to UCF. And with this season going through, impressively enough, despite us having 3 receivers all starting, none of them made bowl games. UCF last in the Big 12. And then in the Sun Belt, Old Dominion, 4-8. And then you look at Florida, 2-10. Like I said, they're awful. Their offense is a 71 overall. They stink. Pasco ends up with an 11 touchdown season, 800 yards. He had an okay career as like a number 2 receiver, but he was the number 1, and he didn't put up number 1 level production. Al McClendon ends up hurting his ankle. He actually had an okay year, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns, but got hurt. Only one 100-yard game, though. And hey, this dude had 1,000 yards on the season, just 3 touchdowns, but, you know, impressive that no one made a bowl game there. So we move to Pasco, leaving for the draft. He's going to be a 5th-round draft selection. I guess that's fair. And then Al McClendon is going to stay at Old Dominion. Other dude's going to stay at UCF. So the last 2 receivers are just going to, I guess, rot away on bad teams. He ends up jumping up a lot, though. He's probably going to just go to the NFL after this year. McClendon ends up having a pretty poor year. I mean, it just went down. His production went down. So what we actually kind of ran into is I reached the end of Dynasty mode. Meaning, like, I went to players leaving. I wanted to go to the draft results, just catch the draft results, because I knew they were both going to be gone. One of them was a senior. One of them's like a 90-plus overall junior. Obviously, they were leaving. But I reached the end of Dynasty mode, meaning I can't go any further. I can't see the draft results. So for the statistics, I am going to... We're going to have to, you know, take a predictive guess. Al McClendon was an 86 overall. We can presume he went undrafted. I think that's pretty easy to say. 93 overall... That's a little bit harder to predict. 94 plus is like first round, and then 93 is like second to third round. I marked him down as a third rounder just to be conservative. He had a down statistical year. If he had a big statistical year, I would have probably put him in the second round. But, you know, for the statistics that we're going to do at the end of this video, we're going to get into all that stuff. Just know I had to, I guess, make assumptions with the draft. I think it's pretty safe to say, though, McClendon wouldn't have gotten drafted in 86 overall, but give or take second or third round for the UCF guy. But let's get into all the final stats, all the final info. A lot of receivers, a lot of time, a full Dynasty mode. We literally reached the very end. And starting with location, there was no dominant area with these receivers. Very spread out. 3 from Georgia, 3 from California, 3 from Texas, 2 Alabama, 2 North Carolina. So a lot of 2s and 3s. And then Hawaii, Massachusetts, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, Illinois, West Virginia, Virginia, Florida, Maryland, Arizona, and Kansas. That's a lot. Like, that is very spread out. That is very much like there was no one area that produced more wide receivers than another. I'm really surprised, like, Florida down there at 1. Florida usually always is putting out like a high amount of prospects, and I would have thought at least it would be, you know, 2 or 3. But now we go to the dev traits. There was a lot of gems and busts in this one compared to the quarterbacks and running backs. I thought some of the previous videos with those 2 positions were pretty straightforward. This one, though, 6 gems, 5 busts. So, you know, for 25 there, I mean, almost half of them were a gem or a bust. So you didn't always know what you were getting because it was a very mixed bag. And when it came to the developments, only 1 normal, Al McClendon at the very end, but again, very spread out. 7 elite, 10 star, 7 impact. And, you know, there were some guys with elite development that didn't maybe hit the highs that we were hoping. And then there were some guys with impact dev, you know, mainly one that we'll get into in the best of the best, that really hit some crazy highs. For any sort of development path, I thought it was pretty pointless to add like a year 5. Only 2 receivers even made it to a 5th year in college. But I mean, I guess the overall did end up averaging to about 90 because one was an 89, one was a 91. But generally 77.8, so pretty nice. You know, we didn't see any like crazy overall guys like quarterback and running back. We seen like 80 81s. We didn't see anyone hit the 80s to start their career, but we also, I thought generally with these receivers, the floor was a lot higher, but the ceiling was a little lower when it came to what these guys started off as and what they became. You'll see that a little bit with the overall ladder as well, but I mean, generally, though, year 3, 88 to 89 overall being the average, and then year 4, almost 90 being the average. Like, 90 is just an NFL player. Like, generally, all of these guys were NFL caliber guys aside from, like, 2 or 3. Like, a lot of NFL talent, a lot of high-quality talent. If you were getting the number 1 receiver, even if we didn't find like any 99 overalls, 98 overalls, you're going to be getting a high-level superstar player. There were very little misses. Maybe that was just the batch we got, though, where like there just wasn't a lot of like outright bad players. I mean, we had a plus 11, the biggest career jump being a plus 18. Now, the lowest career jump, Rochelle was genuinely horrendous. Like, he was one of the worst players we've had in one of these videos. He transferred more times than he progressed. That's bad, but other than him, every other player reached a respectable overall, as you can see from the overall ladder. I mean, we go to 85 overall, all but 1. 86 overall, all but 1. Like, every single player except that one dude reached 86 plus overall. Like, the second worst player was McClendon, who went to Army and then Old Dominion and had normal development. But then, like, you get up there, like I said, this is what I mean with the floor of these players being pretty high. I mean, 87, 92%, 88, 92%, 89, 92%, even 90 overall, 76%, 91, 60%. roughly half of them, 92 overall. I mean, like, it does drop off once you get to like 93, 94, 95, because 94 is kind of the cutoff of where you're considered like a first round wide receiver, but even then, 5 of them hit that. Now, it does like fall off a cliff, because once you get to 96, no one was 96 or better. Maybe that was where we didn't get the high-end ceiling, because with running back and quarterback, we did hit a 99 overall with running back. We did hit a 99 overall with quarterback. We did hit that crazy high with one of the players. But I thought, even though no one hit the highest of highs, there was not a lot of low lows. Obviously, that contributes to where they were drafted, and the draft success was really prevalent in this one. So we had 3 players go undrafted, and one of them shouldn't have been. Kerry Majors was the one of them that ended up transferring and going nowhere. He was an 89 overall going into his final season. He just didn't land anywhere. Presumably he would have went up on overall, and he would have been a 90, probably would have been a day 3 pick. But only McClendon and Rochelle didn't actually finish their careers and get drafted. And then when it comes to where the players got drafted, no 7th rounders, a 6th rounder, 5 5th rounders, and it was really just pretty well spread out. I mean, 3 in the 4th round, and then you get to day 2, 4 in the 3rd, 4 in the 2nd. You get to the 1st round. That was just as prevalent as any other. 5 in the 1st round. So many talented players, and all spread across the draft. I think this one is the best overall results when it comes to producing NFL level talent. Then we get into the archetypes and ratings. So contested specialist was the highest, most prevalent one that we've seen. 9 of them being contested specialists, 5 elusive route runners, 5 route artists, 4 speedsters, 2 physical route runners. So 5 different archetypes showcased and a lot of different spread out talents, and that contributes to a lot of wide range of ratings that we've seen. The average speed being 88.5. I mean, obviously the contested guys and the physicals kind of dragged it down a little bit, but generally we didn't find a lot of like crazy speedy guys. I mean, Tan at the end having 96 speed was really impressive, but generally some of the fastest guys we would find, 92, 93 is kind of what you're expecting. 94 Excel being the highest, but on average 91 Excel. Awareness was a lot generally higher. There was not like any, you know, big range of people with awareness. 67 was the lowest, but 73 was the highest. Catching, again, a pretty small range for catching and catching traffic. 80 to 84 for catching traffic, 78 to 85. So you're getting pretty consistent numbers there. Spec catch, though, is where you get some like crazy stuff. I mean, we've seen as high as 94 spec catch, which was insane. Then you get to the route runnings. Medium route running had some pretty crazy guys. A couple of 91s. We had a 91 in deep route running. Release, you know, we had some solid guys with release, kind of in that same range of 78 to 86. So a lot of ratings having these general ranges, but then you get the occasional super fast guys in Tan. You get the spec catch with 94. You get a couple of maybe 91s in route running. You guys can let me know what the highest individual rating you've seen on a receiver is, if you've seen anything crazier than what we've seen in this video. We had 12 out of 25 make a playoff appearance as we go into the milestones. 8 of them won a playoff game. We had 12, so roughly half staying at one school, never transferring. And this is also what I mean with the high floor of receivers. 20 of the 25 receivers at one point in their career had a 1,000-yard season. That's really impressive. 1,000-yard season, that's like the mark that people use to determine like a good receiver or good season for a lot of people, or a productive year. And the fact that 20 of them hit that, and considering also the receivers more so than quarterback and running back, they were in and out just as fast as any other position you were going to find. Left for the NFL after 3 seasons, 12 of them did that. And, you know, generally the players didn't play as a freshman, or if they did, it wasn't as the number 1 or the number 2. They were playing maybe number 3, number 4 roles. So almost everybody having a 1,000-yard season. Now, it does drop down. You get 7 out of 25 having 2 1,000-yard seasons. And, you know, funnily enough, the players who had certain career accolades, like either you were in and out of college football fast, you had a 1,000-yard season, you bolted to the league, or you weren't good enough to go pro immediately and you stayed and you just racked up stats, because 6 had 3,000 career yards, but 5 had 4,000. So if you had 3,000, you also had 4,000. And the players who had 4,000, really productive guys that we'll get into. And getting to the final section, there was more so just 4 receivers that really stuck out for me, but, you know, I usually do these with 5. So at the bottom, Isaiah Money is the 5th receiver I picked. He had 3,000 yards, and he did have 39 touchdowns, which was the 3rd most. 2 1,000-yard seasons was really good. But these 4 receivers, it's no particular order, but these are the 4. And we start Anthony Aragon. Was awesome. Maybe my favorite of the video. Somebody who got to start as a true freshman, almost went over 1,000 yards as a true freshman, had the most overall yards, 4,800, 45 touchdowns, took USC to multiple playoff appearances, and was really good and really big in a lot of situations. Then you go to DeMarco Liggins, 4,000 yards, multiple 1,000-yard seasons, 18 100-yard gains, 35 touchdowns, came up big. Then Markel Clowney was probably the best playoff performer that we had. Took Wisconsin all the way to a national championship, 4,700 yards, blew people out of the water when it came to touchdowns, 54 touchdowns, and the next highest being Aragon at 45. And you got to keep in mind, Clowney, his first season, he did play, but he was like the number 3 receiver at Wyoming. When he went to Wisconsin, he just blew up, and Wisconsin had 3 1,000-yard seasons, high-level amount of touchdowns, went crazy, was awesome. And then I put Teron Tant here as the number 4 receiver. He had a really good career, even though one of his years did get kind of cut short and he was on pace to do some crazy things. Still had 2 1,500-yard seasons, 3 1,000-yard seasons as a whole. Went to the NFL a little earlier than I would have liked because he wasn't as high of a draft pick as he maybe should have been. He was the fastest receiver that we scouted, 96 speed, and 33 touchdowns as a whole. So you guys can let me know who your favorite receiver was in this video and how you felt about how everything went down. Like, comment, and subscribe, as all that stuff is super, super helpful to get videos out like this because of how long they take. And, you know, this was another like 30-hour project in total. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in the next one.